on YouTube.com. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm John Clement alongside my good friend here, George Stockberger. George, welcome back to the booth.
It's good to be back. A little day off for me, but we're back and we're ready to go for some Pios baseball.
Well, George, I don't think you have any volume here, so let's fix
I
that.
do not. Now I'm back.
Welcome back
officially
again.
back now.
As we're thrilled to have you back in the booth. Thank you so much. If you want to give that line again about being thrilled to be back here, I'm sure the fans would love to hear it.
Yeah, again, thrilled to be back. Hopefully we turn stuff around for the Pios.
Well, we've turned stuff around with the microphone, so we're doing pretty good already. I want to remind everybody, this is the Elmira Pioneers pregame show brought to you by Miller's Mowing. If your field isn't game day ready, call Miller's Mowing, 607-302-8226. And George, I may not be a meteorologist, but boy, hot one out today.
It is. We all the weather apps, I'll say in the low 80s, but it feels a lot warmer than that, especially in the confines of a very tight booth up here. But again, it's a beautiful day compared to some of the games that we've had recently where it's been kind of rainy and weather threatening. But instead, it's a beautiful day out here in Elmira.
I was just going to say, no looking up at the sky today. I think we're going to be pretty clear all the way through as once again,
the wildlife returns.
The wildlife is back here at historic Dunn Field. As we get into tonight's matchup, of course, will be your first look at Ben Terwilliger. Terwilliger, who's coming off a start where he pitched 5 innings, gave up just 2 base on balls, 6 strikeouts, and was relatively efficient in his first start of the season.
Yeah, a guy who, pitching for a college program out in Maine, and also a local guy from Corning Painted Post High School, not too far down the road here from Elmira. In high school, it was a guy who hit .420 and had 3 home runs. But again, he's evolved into a solid pitcher for the Pios. Played in the PGCBL prospect game as a senior, was a Section 4 champion in badminton as well, so a multi-sport athlete. Getting him a start here for the Pioneers.
Well, badminton certainly an interesting sport, getting his start there. You talked about it. He batted .420, 21 RBIs, and 3 home runs over at Corning Painted Post. He was also part of a team that won a Section 4 championship, a regional finalist, and finishing 9th in the state back in 2016. But he was also a great academic player, National Honor Society, as a matter of fact, as a senior. So he came in and really, he's been an interesting case. He's not one of those players that you would think highly touted prospect. You start thinking of the Old Dominion players, the Kentucky players. And speaking of Old Dominion, can we talk about Ryan Teshko? Teshko has had a stunning couple of games here, his first few games on the roster. Last night, he was responsible for just really getting things going. I mean, the average may not look like much. It's $154, but he got 2 hits, 13 at bats that he's had here. He's really come in and made big hits at big times. Of course, he reached on an error last night, did drive in the run. So it's one of those situations where he comes out and has a good game and he could turn it all around from that maybe disappointing average. But the way he's played in the field, the way he's come into and played major at bats, that's the kind of style you want to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a slow start to the season for the Old Dominion player, but again, picking it up here for the Pioneers. Talking about, again, a freshman Old Dominion out of New Jersey, 37th overall player coming out of New Jersey when he was a high school prospect. So again, another big-name high school prospect who's made their way onto his Pioneers roster.
Well, he's going to bat second in the order tonight. He was selected to compete in the prestigious Carpenter Cup and helped lead Gateway to a conference title during his tenure. I do want to mention his twin brother will be out there available in the bullpen tonight, as we'll have to see. I talked at length last night about importance of starts, and obviously that didn't go the right way for Keegan Ernest last night. His ERA now at 6. Just couldn't quite keep everything the way he had the first game when we talked about 10 strikeouts, George. The weather delay certainly helped with the expediting of his exit from the first game, but just couldn't quite get it together last night.
Oh, again, when we looked at what Keegan Ernest did in his start before the other night, again, he was almost perfect when he was coming out there. What was it? The first 10 outs were strikeouts. So, again, a really dominant start. And we talked about the weather problems that we've had here in Elmira of late. That came in, kind of broke up that outstanding start. Again, didn't throw his best game last night, but always a good chance to turn around with a long season here in Elmira.
And you get a chance to do that fairly quickly. At Terwilliger right now, as we talked about, he's got 1 game that he's appeared in. He pitched 5 innings and got the save. He's really played a great game so far. He's got 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, as I mentioned previously. But the fact of the matter is here, he's a local kid who's nobody really had, as I said, the eye on right away. But if he can come out and have a second consecutive game where he pitches very, very well, that's going to be a big part of putting the Pioneers in a place to win this game.
Absolutely. And not just for this game, but for the whole season. You need a strong showing from your pitching staff. You look at some of the major league teams out there that have excellent pitching staffs, such as the Houston Astros, a team that you know very well. When you have guys like Cole and Verlander at the top of the rotation, those guys can carry you to a postseason and a World Series. That's what the Pios need. They need someone to step up behind Rubino, who, again, had another solid night, whether that's Terwilliger, whether that's Ernest. They need another guy to step up and be that proven number 2 or number 3.
Well, the question there, you mentioned my Astros. The one great thing about the Astros making their way to the postseason in 2 straight years is the hitting. 2, 3, 4, right down the line, the 7, 8, and 9. When you looked at it, Marisnick getting hits, people like that. That's where the Pioneers are lacking. Last night it was 1 and 2, struggling a little bit to get off the schneid. Then the other night it was 7, 8, and 9. It just seems to be that at no point so far in the season have the Pioneers been able to put an entire roster together and get things started 1 through 9. And that's going to be the true challenge here, George. As you look at the stat sheet, a couple of guys sub 100 on the hitting right now. It's a challenge, especially when you look at some of those players being huge contributors to that overall Pioneers roster coming into the summer.
Absolutely. I mean, we talked about Teshko earlier about how he's starting to turn stuff around. Trevor Henneman, you like him to show up a little bit better, hitting 071, and then right below him, Brendan Doherty hitting 040. So again, those are 3 guys that the Pios really need to step up at the same time. We've had a guy like Mason Ruhlman who's really shown out with the 318 batting average early this season. Nathan Berg, in limited opportunities, is hitting well, as well as Cam Redding and Preston Moore.
The question there too, though, is, and it's got to be a question for Matt Birch, is when you talk about the success, do you prize the batting success more than the fielding success? We watched last night as we just talked about one of the players on that top of the board, Nathan Berg, is batting .333. Obviously, that's a bat you want to keep in the lineup, but he moved over to short last night after playing second so they could bring in a player like Mason Ruhlman. And first ball that comes to him at shortstop, he bobbles, and it cost the Pioneers a run. So it's a question about playing that defensive and offensive side of the ball, and it certainly can't be an easy decision as the summer continues to roll on.
No, it's tough. There's some guys, and again, thinking about the major leagues guys who have been known to move around a lot. I think about a guy like Martin Prado, who has moved at, second base, third base, everywhere in the outfield. Guys like even a Sean Rodriguez, who can literally play every position, even though he's not an everyday guy like a Martin Prado was. It's tough for these guys who are still developing, to kind of bounce around, even though it's, even if you're looking at just the middle of the infield, you're going to different sides, there's different muscles working. And then, if you have to move a guy over to third or into the outfield, it's a tough thing to concentrate on that defense and then have to go back and hit 3 or 4 times a night.
Well, also, I think any scout is going to tell you shortstop is really the most difficult position to play in that infield position. You can see a shortstop move to third baseman, a la Alex Rodriguez, Bregman, the list goes on, Machado. You can see that happen. You can see the shortstop go and play second. You can see them go and play first fairly easily. But when you look at other players having to fill in for an injured shortstop, Carlos Correa comes to mind. It's a hard spot to fill. That is a position where you really have to be dynamic and able to move to both sides of the base and play any ball that's hit anywhere in your vicinity. You have to cover not only 90 feet, but almost 120 feet.
Yeah, it's weird. There's been so many great shortstops in the last couple of years. Again, Rodriguez, when he was playing early in his career, then you go and look at Jeter and the Rollins, a couple guys who played for the Astros, had a couple good careers there as well. So, again, it's one of those positions where, again, like you said, one of the harder positions you have to play out there. I think catcher's probably the hardest position you have to play out on the field because you're controlling the pitching game and you have a big piece of a defense. And then you have guys who step up on offense. Again, thinking older like a Mike Piazza, nowadays a JT Realmuto, a Brian McCann back in his day. I think catcher's probably the toughest position, but again, shortstop's right behind that. Again, you got the whole middle of the field to control. You got to think about the guys on the base paths. And then again, you'd like your shortstop to hit him at 280 to 300 range like you've seen a Jeter or a Jimmy Rollins do in the heyday of their career.
For sure, and that's going to be the challenge for the Pioneers as they continue to look down. Of course, the one other question they're going to have is how do they compete? The fact of the matter is they're now on a 5-game losing streak. That means every pitcher in the lineup has started a loss. That's difficult against any team. And the last time they played Newark, it was a tighter game, and we won't look directly at the scoreboard to say how close it was because the game was a lot tighter than what the final score was. Some errant pitching led to a loss. but the Pioneers came out and played solid baseball. They just couldn't get the hitting going. And it's one of those things where that's going to happen over the course of a season, especially against a divisional opponent who you're going to see quite a bit. But, it's a situation where you've got to find that way to get that hit. It's making that extra play. And it's going to come down to what the Pioneers can do to make that extra play, George.
Yeah, and again, you look at a tough five game losing streak. If you take out that Adirondack game where they lost 15-2, they've lost by either 6 or 7 runs during this losing stretch, and they've all been fairly close. But Socrates game literally went down to the last couple of plays. So again, all these games have been fairly close, with the exception of Adirondack. It's been just either one pitch or one hit that's been the big difference, or one bad fielding play that's kind of thrown them off.
And perhaps that's going to be the difference here tonight. As we head closer and closer to the national anthem, I want to remind you once again, if your field isn't game day ready, call Miller's Mowing 607-302-8226. And we want to thank everybody who's tuned in and listened here. We're going to step aside for a commercial. We'll be back after the national anthem, and it will be time to, George?
Play some baseball.
There we go, and we'll be back as Newark will get set and ready to go. You're listening to the Elmira Pioneers on Mixler.com and watching us live on YouTube. Thank you so much. Stay with us. All right, so a couple of renditions of patriotic melodies. One threw off the catcher, first baseman, and pitcher there, George.
And the umpire.
And the umpire. The umpires were ready to go, too. Once again, if you haven't had the chance to come out to Dunn Field, it is always a spectacle. And, George, you can attest to this after a few games. What a great sight it is to see fans filling the stands at Dunn Field in a warm summer day.
Again, this is probably the best weather that we have. Maybe a little bit toasty, but again, it's been excellent weather today for the Pioneers out here in Elmira. Again, you got the Chemung River out in left field. You got the beautiful mountains out on the right, and we got some baseball down on the field.
Well, hopefully we'll see some good baseball here tonight as the Pioneers look to get things together. Of course, let's talk about the lineup. David Bermudez is going to start things off for the team from Newark. That's the Pilots as they're getting set for their first time here at Dunn Field. It's been kind of an interesting road for the Pioneers as they look forward to taking on a team that they have competed with but once before. However, I'll tell you right now, there's going to be some changes in the lineup. Over Torres, who really did a number on the Pioneers the last time these two teams met, not even in the lineup. So a chance there for the Pioneers right away. That being said, Bermudez, who comes up, he's got 6 hits and 16 at-bats, a .375 batting average. Certainly not going to be an easy out.
Oh, again, 11 total bases in 4 games, only 3 of those being starts, so a hot start for Bermudez.
Does have a home run already on the season, including 6 RBIs. That's not an easy spot as a leadoff hitter, but I'll tell you what, somebody who's certainly embraced it. You see he's had 4 times as a leadoff batter. He's hitting .250 out of that leadoff spot. So going to be interesting to see what Bermudez can do here. Of course, Bermudez, a freshman out of Ryder from East Brunswick, New Jersey. As the umpire's ready to go, he wants to get things started.
He wants to get stuff going.
I'm certain it's a warm one for the men in blue.
I think you're wearing dark colors. You got the heavy black mask. That doesn't help.
As the wildlife here at Dunn Field continues to invade. As now here's Bermudez. You got to think Newark's got to be pretty uncomfortable too, looking at the dark color of those uniforms. The Pioneers have to deal with the same when they go on the road, but today, fortunate in the home whites. So we'll see if there's anything to be gained there.
Especially right now, Terwilliger is right on the edge of where that shadow starts with the sun. Right, line comes right across the middle of the mound.
That could make it difficult to catch the ball coming out of Bermudez, Terwilliger's hand, as Bermudez pulls back a bunt that was to the outside corner and outside away. 1 ball, no strikes. As I said, going to be a bit difficult. As pointing out towards the field, apparently the left fielder was not set, so the umpire kindly giving time so that the Pioneers can get their lineup set. Bermudez back in the box. He waits the pitch and another attempted bunt. Again in there. 2 balls, no strikes. So Bermudez playing with fire here, but no infielder on the inside grass. A little surprising there after 2 fake bunts, but the swing, strike number 1 is fouled back.
Yeah, Preston Moore's kind of taking a step in over from third, but he's not getting to that grass just yet.
Well, after the first strike, probably a little less likely the bunt is going to occur, but you would think after 2 straight pullbacks, as that one rolls in there, ball 3. 3 balls, 1 strike. Not the count you were looking for coming out of the gate for Terwilliger.
Nope.
As now Bermudez steps back into the box. 3 balls, 1 strike, holds up the umpire. And Terwilliger winds and deals. Low, ball 4. And Bermudez wasting no time putting himself on base. Terwilliger not happy with himself in the start, as that'll bring up Jordan Fedor. Fedor makes his way up. He's a Seton Hill sophomore.
One of several Seton Hill players on this team. They got 5 of them.
Prevalent, for sure.
They have 5 of them. It's like Old Dominion for the Pios. We got 5 Seton Hall players. Actually, 4.
4. Okay.
4 Seton Hall players.
As Fedor comes in, he's batting a .118 on the season. Only 2 hits and 17 at-bats. So clearly not the start he'd like, as he takes ball 1. So we'll see if he takes the bat off his shoulder much here, as Terwilliger needs to settle down, George.
I wouldn't move my bat at all. I mean, the guy's thrown 4 balls out of his first 5 pitches.
As the windup and the pitch, that will be ball 2.
That's I feel like, again, we've had several major league references. And we're starting to see one here would be continuous. The only strike was one that was not off Bermudez.
Vito, though, with runners on base, 17 at bats. He's batting 077.
Oof.
So the windup, the pitch, and inside for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. And now Terwilliger is going to have to put something in there. And we'll see. You normally think this is taking all the way. However, that being said, on a 3-0 count and with an 077 batter's average with runners on scoring or runners on base, Everett does take ball 4, and that moves the runners to first and second. Ooh. So I will hush, as clearly didn't go my way. And now everybody heading right in after 2 consecutive walks.
Yeah, he had something figured out. I mean, again, almost all balls except for that one pitch that was fouled off, the only strike.
And even that one, I think, might have been a little bit outside. Mm-hmm. So that'll bring up the first baseman, Parker Denny, another Seton Hill player. He's a sophomore from Arlington, Virginia. After the conference on the mound will end, of course, Matt Birch trying to talk his hitter through it, and the umpire going to head out and hurry things along. Denny batting 091 on the season, George.
Not so great.
1 for 11.
Not good.
Has scored on that one time he got on base, however. So we'll see what he can do, and a single here would certainly help out. We saw it last night. The Pioneers didn't have a hit until the 3rd inning and had scored 2 runs by that point, so don't want to see replications of that.
No.
Terwilliger checks the runner at second. Bouncing around back there quite a bit. That one is there for a ball again. 1 ball, so that's another.
That's ball 7.
I don't want to go there, George. We're going to try to break it here. Going to get Joe Boo his rum and cigar and get going. As that one finally in for a strike. 1-1 the count.
The applause from the fans.
The nice thing here about Dunfield, the genuine fans here clapping along and showing support to these college athletes. It's sometimes difficult to remember these are college athletes. As another pitch bounces in, kept in front of the catcher for a ball, not a pass ball, luckily. 2 balls, 1 strike. As we look down again.
Just checking the bullpen.
Just
checking.
As though it's early, you never know. Certainly don't want to have a rough outing again, especially here at home before the Pioneers go on the road for a long road trip again. Fouled back, 2 balls, 2 strikes. First time with 2 strikes in the count in the first 3 batters here.
You'll love to see it.
Would love to see a punch out here if we could get one, George.
Only 2 walks this year for Terwilliger in his first appearance.
It went 5 innings.
We've already matched it.
As now he checks the runner at second. Really bouncing around out there is Bermudez. Fires one in. Swinging strike for a strike 3. Terwilliger records his first out of the ball game. So if you got to start it off, that's the way to start it.
Nice little overpowering high pitch right there.
As Logan Sturr will head to the batter's box. Logan, 222 on the year, 2 for 9. Has an RBI. See what he can do. He does have a base on balls on the year. Hopefully we will not be adding to that category. As Terwilliger looks in, he waits. He's got 1 out. And Bermudez doing the happy dance back there on second base, George.
He is.
That one fouled back towards the parking lot. We want to remind you all again to make the right decision.
Insist on Gerber collision.
And auto glass. Yeah. So once again, Terwilliger coming back to the mound. Finally starting a batter with a 0-1 count here. First time tonight. As he delivers that one outside, ball 1, 1-1-1, a Tioga Downs showdown. If you're looking for a great place to watch horse-drawn carriages and racing, combine your love down at Tioga Downs. Only place to see it. Always a fun time.
Very strange stand, very open stance here. From Sturr.
A little bit, you said open, that's for sure. As the umpire signals ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. And we'll see what Stir does here.
I mean, he's got a little bit of bend in the knees, but it's almost straight up. And again, very open.
When you see a stance like that, you always assume pull hitter as he tries to move that foot back in and bring the bat around, as he was looking to put that one into the shamong. As 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out.
Put words out of my mouth there.
Well, I talked about being a pull hitter, and that's certainly.
You try to pull one into the shrung there.
As now Terwilliger comes set. Got the sign, the crowd getting behind Terwilliger. He winds and deals, and swinging strike number 3. 2 balls. And that will put him back to the dugout. It looks like Stir was going the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
As that will bring up Dylan Dupelshane, the third baseman. I'll tell you what, George. That's going to trip me up a couple times tonight. I'll be perfectly honest with you. That's not an easy one for me. Normally an outfielder, a junior from Mississippi College.
One of the few Southern players on this Newark team. Most of these guys coming from Jersey and Pennsylvania.
As this will be his first trip to the dish with runners in scoring position and 2 out this season. Always full of interesting factoids.
Yep.
Starts off the count with a 1-0. The pitch from Terwilliger, that one, no. 2 balls, no strikes. All right.
A little bit inside and high.
As Terwilliger not thrilled with the strike zone he's had so far. Will be looking to improve his mark here. The one, the pitch, and that one catches it. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. As now we look, Dupelshane on the year does not have an RBI as of yet. He has had 4 base on balls as he goes to 3-1. As I said before, Terwilliger certainly not wanting to increase his base on balls category anymore.
And you start with 2 walks and back-to-back strikeouts here. Try to finish it off.
Doesn't need the strikeout, just got to get the out somehow. Would love a ground ball. As he throws that one out. And ball 4, third walk of the inning. So, Pioneers certainly backs against the wall. As heading up will be Ty Sita. He's a left-handed batter. So that'll turn things around. Haven't seen that yet here tonight. As Sita's batting an even 100. 1 for 10 on the young season. That one hit, a double. So that's certainly going to be something you don't want to see replicated. As that one in high for ball 1.
And 20th pitch already in this inning.
Sita with runners in scoring position and 2 outs has had 3 attempts, has yet to get anything done. Pitch, swing, strike 1. 1-1 the count, 2 outs. As we're already to the 6th batter in the lineup here. So Sita looking in. The windup and deal from Terwilliger and catches the outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sita looking back at the umpire, not agreeing with the call.
And we talked about such a great job the catchers have done of framing this year for Elmira.
Certainly has. And swinging foul ball down the first base line. So the freshman from Lemoyne will see another pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As once again, Terwilliger comes set on the mound. Could be a short outing with the amount of pitches he's had to throw here just in the first inning.
I think this is number 25 here.
Wind, deal, in there, strike 3, punched out. So it took a long way to get there, but the first 3 outs of the game come on 3 strikeouts, George. Certainly not something we'd like to see replicated too many times in this game, but we'll take it. 0-0 after 1. With that, we'll be right back. You're listening to the Elmira Pioneers on Mixlr.com. 1. All right, and we are back. Thank you so much to everybody listening in here on YouTube and Mixler.com. George, Nathan Berg, the starting shortstop, ready to lead things off here.
Yeah, not too much success as a leadoff hitter. 0 for 2 with a walk early in the season.
Now, Berg played quarterback in 3 seasons, as well as earning 2 letters in ice hockey during his time back in high school in New Prague, Minnesota. I think in Minnesota, it's almost a given. You're handed a hockey bag at birth and just must play.
I'd say most guys are born with a hockey stick in their hand if you're living out in Minnesota.
As now Berg steps back in. Certainly made a difference last night. We'll hope he can continue his success up there at the plate. Wind and deal. That's in there for a quick strike. So not quite the start that we saw in the top half as Murphy comes out and nails up a strike right away. Murphy delivers again. That one then there for a ball. So Alan Murphy, the junior out of St. John Fisher from Richburg, New York. He winds, deals, and connected there, and right towards the second baseman. He gloved it down.
A little snow cone there. Had to go down to one knee, almost spun around there, but a nice quick first down for the Pilots.
Berg quickly gave up the chase. I don't know. I might have challenged that and tried to run it out, but we'll see what that leads to here as Ryan Teshko, the starting left fielder, makes his way to the box. What a night last night for Teshko. May not have gotten the average up much, but I'll tell you what, he made some impact plays at some good times as he takes strike 1. So, Teshko stepping back into the box. 0-1. He's got 1 out against him here. One half of the Teshko twins, his brother a pitcher. The wind deal.
Haven't seen too much of him.
No, only 1 appearance so far in this young season. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Tioga Downs showdown. You too can be an all-star. Come and watch Smash Mouth this summer. Wind up and the pitch. In there on the corner for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. And certainly Murphy moved it along.
I was about to say, it also very violent landing for him. Whole body kind of whipped around. Doesn't really have a head whack that you see with a lot of younger guys, but definitely the hips and the shoulders get spun around here.
As that one fouled away right back towards the home screen. And that might be the veteran leadership there as he's a junior. A couple more years experience than most of the pitchers we've seen this season. As Teshko awaits the pitch. Delivery and fouled away. So Murphy will have to come back set again. You know, the other thing, George, the movement all very quick and rapid. There's not a lot of time to read what's happening as you talked about the violent motion. As Teshko steps in, he waits the delivery. And that's almost full sidearm there. Yeah. It's not quite submarine, but
it's in between that submarine and 3/4. And again, he's also falling off. We're talking about the violent movement, falling off very hard to the first base side.
So again, anything right back up towards him might go right through, to be honest. As that one thrown way outside, certainly lost the control there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out on Teshko. Teshko doing a very good job fouling pitches off, staying alive. And we'll see as Murphy comes set. Winds, deals, and Teshko connects once again, back up and over the press box. Make the right decision.
Insist on Gerber collision.
And auto glass. As the Pioneers keeping the count alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And now we'll see as the pitch comes. Swinging, connected, down and foul. As
we're getting tied up.
Getting a little tangled up here in the booth. There we go. 10 feet of cord and 1 foot of space. So Teshko able to keep himself alive yet again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. No hits on either side. 3 base runners left on back in the top half of the first, George.
Way too many walks. A big gap up the middle here. Shortstop playing over to our left. Open for the pole.
Big swing and a miss as Teshko goes down 0 for 1 on the strikeout now. And that will bring up Preston Moore. Moore, who's tied for the batting average lead. He's had 4 hits and 12 at-bats, .333, and has 3 RBIs. Obviously won't be a factor here, however. Certainly not the worst start you could have looked at coming into the season. As Moore comes set. Moving down a little bit in the batting order might be a good thing as you get a chance to see some pitches. George, we talked about the leadoff the problems with being a leadoff hitter as Moore has a strike against him already. The windup and pitch. Moore takes that one inside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. So the difference to the approach at the plate, George, when you're leadoff hitting versus now batting third in the order, you've certainly seen a few more pitches, especially after that long Teshko at bat.
Absolutely. You've seen a couple more pitches. And as the leadoff hitter, you're kind of trying to set up the entire inning and as well as the game trying to see more. As he drives that one right up the middle. We talk about having a lot of room, busting down the line and getting ground out here with a nice play from the shortstop. Again, a little bit different as the leadoff hitter, but an excellent play there by the defense to get that third out.
Lucky is that we were just talking about how far over that shortstop was, but clearly wasn't too much of a problem as we'll be right back. You're listening to the Elmira Pioneers here on Mixler.com and watching us live on YouTube. We'll be right back. And welcome back in here on Mixler.com and YouTube Live. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, I'm John Clement alongside my friend George Stockberger here in the booth. Certainly a warm day up here, hoping for the cool off of that night air, George.
Absolutely. Again, it's again, they say the low 80s, but the sun's still out. Only a couple shadows. Again, that shadow still kind of creeping over there on the mound, giving Terwilliger maybe a little bit of an advantage.
Well, you hope so after the rough first inning he had. Gorman will come up. Michael Gorman, the sophomore out of Iona, makes his way to the plate as he has had a rough start to the year as well. He's had just 2 hits and 11 at-bats for a .182 average. Gorman waits on the pitch. Comes in and in there for a strike. So much better start here. Very happy about that.
And we talk about, what, three walks and 3 strikeouts to start out the game.
For sure.
I didn't know what to call that.
We'll have to give it a new moniker as the pitch swinging for a foul. No balls, 2 strikes. Back into the parking lot goes the ball. So we remind you again to make the right decision.
Insist on Gerber collision.
Would like to point out Michael Gorman, 2 appearances as a leadoff hitter, 0 for. So that's positive news for Terwilliger as he will set a little bit of a breeze coming in here. Swing and a strike. First 4 outs of the ball game, George.
We talked about Pat with Burness last week. He had the first 10 outs of strikes, strikeouts, even though they weren't consecutive. So again, following the lead of his teammate here. He cut down on some walks, but pretty good start.
As that'll bring up Reynolds. Reynolds coming in. He's playing left field today as he steps into the batter's box. Cameron Reynolds, a Mars Hill freshman from down there in North Carolina.
The great baseball school. I don't know. I've never heard of it.
I haven't either. We actually had to look it up. It is down there in North Carolina. So a little bit familiar with the North Carolina area. As 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. And we'll see. Reynolds waits. The delivery, big swinging strike there. Spun himself into the ground, George. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. A Tioga Downs showdown. As we remind you to stop by Tioga Downs and try out the buffet. Certainly delicious down there. Big swinging strike number 2.
He's taking some wild hacks up there.
Reynolds looking for a shot that goes back to North Carolina with the way he's swinging the bat right now. So we'll see what the Pioneers pitcher Terwilliger can do here. Would love to get a quick inning under his belt as he punches out his second opponent. So we've got 3 in a row, George. 3 straight strikeouts. As that's the kind of appearance you were hoping for.
Absolutely. I mean, 3 consecutive strikeouts, 6 strikeouts already here.
5.
Or 5.
Hopefully 6. We'll talk about that after Jack Kelleher, the left-hander from St. John Fisher, will bat. Kelleher waiting. Swinging strike 1. Maybe you're Nostradamusing me up here. Wouldn't mind that at all.
No.
0-1 count for Kelleher. Kelleher and Terwilliger facing off. First time here this afternoon. This is the number 9 batter. As that's in there for a strike as well. Terwilliger 1 strike away from doing exactly what George just predicted. And if that's the case, George, I want lottery numbers.
Yes.
We'll see. As we wait. Terwilliger winding and fouled back towards the home plate screen. Terwilliger will have to throw another pitch. You know he'd love to get through this inning 1, 2, 3 after that long first inning.
I was about to say he's moving quickly after throwing about 25 pitches in the first.
Of course, striking out does take quite a bit of pitches. That one's grounded down the first base line, just foul, as that one was played there. But the Pioneers will have to pitch yet again. We talked about it. It's a little difficult when you have to throw so many pitches. You know that the coaching staff has a pitch count there in their heads, and they don't want to let you go too far over that. Terwilliger winds, he deals, and fouled back again just below us here.
I'm up a pitch count in my head. I'm getting a smell of the great food here at Dunfield starting to go into my head. So, of course, we always appreciate those hot dogs, but somehow wander up here.
Always a positive experience when you get to eat at Dunfield. As pitcher winds and deals. That one is in there and a punch out again. So 3 up, 3 down, all on strikeouts, George. Striking out the side as the top of the lineup will come up next. The Pioneers, however, will see Mason Ruhlman come up when we come back. You're listening to the Elmira Pioneers on Mixlr.com and live on YouTube. All right, with that, we are back live here on Mixer.com and YouTube.com. George, that's the type of event you wanted to see as we come into this one. Pioneers finally getting some success out of pitching staff here at home.
Absolutely. I mean, 6 of the last 7 outs are strikeouts. Again, Terwilliger having an excellent start after those 2
Believe
walks
you meant
to start
6
the
out
game.
of 6 there.
6 out of 6.
We've only had 6 outs in the ballgame, and all 6 of them have been Ks. We're out of 2 innings. 27 outs in a game. Divided by 3.
Yeah.
There we go. We're good?
I think.
We're moving,
I don't know.
We're gonna move on.
A long day.
Mason Ruhlman heads into the box. The junior infielder from University of Minnesota at Crookston. He swings and fouls one away.
Went off the mask of the catcher.
As Ruhlman has had an interesting start to the season. Certainly would like to be bit higher up in the numbers you feel, but the RBIs have been there. He was leading the league at one point. As now, once again, Pioneers looking to find their way back into the win column. Wind and pitch swung on strike 2. So we look back down at the old stat book. Mason Ruhlman, he is just 1 for 8, $125 as a leadoff hitter. That one outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So as the second inning kicks off for the Pioneers, neither team has recorded a hit so far. Interesting, interesting prospect here, George. The wind, the deal, and there's a hit. That one goes out into right center. Still going back at the warning track, and that will be caught. So a long, loud out there for Mason Ruhlman.
Yeah, Gorman running out to back into his left, making a nice little running grab out towards the warning track.
So you like the distance, just wish it would have fallen in.
Yep.
Kyle Richardson, the freshman catcher from Zionsville, Indiana. Kyle batted .441 in his high school career, 52 RBIs, 28 doubles, 6 triples, and 4 homers. Thus far this season, Richardson 2 for 12, $167. The windup and the deal. Strike number 1. So 1 strike, 1 out. As the Pioneers catcher today. As the catching staff here for the Pioneers, interesting, seem to just take over the catcher, first base, and designated hitter spot most days of the week.
Nice little rotation they got going.
So 1-1-1. The foul ball there by Kyle Richardson. Richardson certainly been working on trying to get that swing to straighten out, put balls into play, as has really been the mandate for the entire Pioneers team. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. The windup and the pitch. Outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Once again, you got another big hole right up the middle. We saw some excellent defense to Emmy last inning with the shortstop ranging over to his right.
Well, we talked about the importance of that shortstop position back in the pregame show, George. As that one in a little bit low. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out.
Just a little bit low.
As Richardson even checking on that one as he steps back into the box, looking out towards the pitcher's mound. Haven't seen a lot of pure sidearm pitchers as that one hops and Richardson takes a walk. That'll be the Pioneers' first base runner of the evening. And that'll bring up Trevor Henneman.
He struggled to start the year, John.
He certainly has not been the appearance he'd like with an .071 batting average, but I'll tell you what, he had potential. He's shown it last season. He's 0 for 3 with runners on base, though. Not quite the position you hope for from a returner, as you'd like to see them be a catalyst. But we were talking about gaps, and George, first and second, playing
holding him out
as if there's no fielder there. See what Henneman can do. Henneman can push the ball pretty well as he takes strike 1 right down the gut. You know he'd like that one back.
Yep. He struck out twice the last time his 2 teams played on the road.
Not an easy place to play on the road. As Newark sets, deals, and connection out towards center field, way off of first. That one will be caught, and Henneman goes 0 for 1 on the evening. As Richardson returns back to first base, Zach Granger comes up, sophomore at Lackawanna College from Horseheads, New York, going to be headed to the University of Akron next season. Granger, 214 on the young season, 3 hits, 14 at-bats. As now Granger stepping in. Any interesting factoids you want to throw at us here, George?
I mean, he's a 3-year letter winner over at Horsehead, so he had another local guy who's showing up, taking ball 1. A little bit of a speedier guy, a true right field arm. Again, another one of those really smart guys that the Pioneers picked up. Again, we've seen a lot of engineers, investment guys.
There you go. As the Pioneers, like a well-rounded candidate, that's for sure.
3.7 GPA as he grounds one up the middle.
Right towards the second baseman, thrown over to short, and that will do it on the fielder's choice over to second base. So, 2 complete. Nothing to nothing in any category. No hits, no errors, no runs. And with that, we step in between innings. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Elmira Pioneers on Mixler.com. All right, and here we are back in the booth with some slight refreshment, George.
Not the hot dogs yet.
Not the hot dogs yet, but we've got a fan.
Finally.
So we're feeling a little bit cooler up here at Dunn Field. As cools down a little bit
very
here in the
nice.
booth
Keeps
now.
the bugs off our legs.
We'll take it. As that will bring up the top of the order yet again.
The man you don't want to cool down is the pitcher out there on the mound.
Terwilliger would love to see him get through another inning very, very quickly.
4 straight strikeouts.
Certainly don't want to see Bermudez back on the base path. You watched him dancing around out there like, well, I don't even know how to compare it.
A little bit of a spring in the step.
Certainly very excited to be on the base path. And I'll tell you, he has had a season so far batting .375. Wind up in the pitch. This one connected and right out to center field. Their first pitch, Bermudez will put himself on first base. So his first official at bat, he's walked and singled now.
The first hit of the game for either side coming here in the top of the third inning.
So an interesting start to say the least, George.
And again, we started out with the 2 straight walks, back strikeouts, but walk, and then 4 straight strikeouts. Now a hit.
Now a single. As
we're all over the place here.
Jordan Fedor steps in. Love to see him ground something right up the middle, turn 2. As the wind up the pitch, and in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. First hit of the game, stands on first and thrown right over, as Terwilliger doesn't like to watch the dancing over there at first base.
He's doing a lot of dancing out there.
Bermudez certainly
on Dancing with the Stars.
Could be. Bermudez auditioning here at Dunn Field.
Got some quick feet.
As Terwilliger sets, he delivers, fouled away there by Jordan Fedor. The center fielder who made the last out of the bottom of the second is now trying to put wood on the ball and get his runner around. Fedor with runners on base. Talked about it earlier. He's had it happen now 13 times. He has a base on balls. Only 1 RBI. 087 on the season with runners on base. Delivery swung, fouled back towards the parking lot. We remind you again to make the right decision.
Insist on Gerber collision.
And auto glass. First hit of the ball game. Stands on first base. You know, the Pios would have liked to have been the ones to put that crooked number up. As now they'll look to do it in the area that matters. That one thrown a little high. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. The dancing leadoff hitter. That's the best way to describe it. If you're watching on YouTube.com, you'll get a good look at what I'm talking about here as he steps off first. And now a little bit calmer this time. So, of course, I pointed out, and now he stops. As that one's thrown low and inside. Ball 2.
A little bit more protected with that 2 strike count.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And again, good fielding there from the catcher, Kyle Richardson. Yeah. Really been able to keep the ball in front of him. Redding, we saw one come through last night that got by him as the dancing begins again. Over there at first. Pitch, hit right out towards the right fielder, jumping in there and grabbing it, and he doesn't throw into first as he let Bermudez get back safely. So 0 for 1. The first out that wasn't a strikeout, George. That'll bring up Denny. Denny with runners on base. 5 at bats. 0 is the average. That that bodes well for Terwilliger.
Yeah, another Seton Hall guy.
As Denny steps up. Look over a big lead at first from Bermudez. Bermudez dancing again. Feigns back towards first. Now the pitch. And popping right up was Kyle Richardson. Richardson looking for a chance to throw out his man over there at first base. As now, we'll see Terwilliger staring daggers at his catcher. You see that shadow, George. You talked about it a couple times already.
Now back behind the mound.
The throw over, but it appears to come right almost over the shoulder of Terwilliger as he stands there. You see how it falls.
That's it. It's almost in his face at that point.
Yep. So maybe a little bit less helpful as Terwilliger winds, deals, and that one comes inside. 2 balls, no strikes, 1 out. As Denny, victim of a strikeout earlier here tonight.
One of several.
has happened to a few guys. As now, again, Bermudez will take a large lead over there at first base. Waiting, winding, dealing. In there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike. As Bermudez continues to wait for a sign, I guess, as he's he's bounced around quite a bit. We have yet to see him take off.
This is right on the edge of where the grass cuts in.
The windup, the pitch, and that one gets away from the catcher. 3 balls, 1 strike, and Bermudez feigns towards second as the catcher recovers the ball. So, another opportunity here, and we'll see what he can do, as it's been a hard inning on Terwilliger again. He had a tough first and easy second, and now again working through some danger here in the third. Terwilliger winds, he deals, and ball 4.
They're just a bit high.
I'll tell you what, these these batters are certainly calling them before the umpire does, as they've thrown their bats and headed down to first on several occasions before the umpire made any movement. So runners at first and second, and again, this is the second time Bermudez has stood on second base. First time courtesy of a walk, second time courtesy of his own single, and now Sturr, the designated hitter, he's got a runner in scoring position now as he comes back up to the plate. With runners in scoring position, he's 1 for 4, batting .250 on the young season. The pitch, outside, 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. So already as we count the scorebook, 4 base on balls, 6 strikeouts, and 1 hit. That one inside, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Terwilliger again getting a little wild.
Yeah, when he was getting those strikeouts, he was doing a really good job of working in those breaking pitches. Got the curveball in for a strike a couple times. And I'm having trouble getting the fastball location to start these batters off.
We talked about the shadow certainly playing a factor here. As Terwilliger checks the runner at second. He looks in, winds, deals, connected right out towards right center, and that one's going to get down as the ball thrown into the infield, cut off there, knocked towards the pitcher, and the bases will be loaded with 1 out. So a single for Sturr. And that will bring up Dupelshane. Dupelshane has a base on balls here tonight. Third baseman, so you know he's got some pop.
Love to see that from those corner guys.
With the bases loaded, this will be Dupelshane's first opportunity this season. So the windup and the pitch. Swing! Strike number 1. You know, Dupelshane would love to dent the run part of the scoreboard. 2 hits now.
I like to see that from a number 5 guy. As if you're Newark, not if you're Elmira.
Elmira would love to see him put an easy ground ball up towards their second baseman and rule him in turn 2. As now 1-1-1, a Tioga Downs showdown. Check out the newest and greatest table games and slots live at Tioga Downs. The windup and the pitch. Bounce is in there. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Bounce in front of home plate.
So Terwilliger certainly feeling a little bit anxious here, George.
Yeah, he hasn't put himself in a great spot here.
Certainly can work out of it. We've seen it back in the first inning. As Terwilliger comes set, winds, deals, and strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out.
I guess Bermudez, by the time that pitch was thrown, he was almost halfway down that third baseline.
I'll tell you what, dancing may be an understatement. As once again, see the first baseman playing in on the grass here. The pitch and looking out. No swing according to the umpire out there at second base. So 3 balls, 2 strikes. 3-2 the count. And this is a big pitch for Terwilliger. You have to assume Dupleshain has to play defensively here, but he's also got to keep himself from striking out as Terwilliger steps off the mound briefly. See what he chooses to do. Terwilliger winds, he deals, and hit out towards left center. This should be deep enough to score the run as it's caught, thrown in with force right towards home and double play. Oh my gosh, what a play from the left fielder. Wow.
That was a cannon out there, and it was a perfectly thrown ball.
That's unbelievable. As making that play, of course, Ryan Teshko. What an arm. Unbelievable double play as Dupleshain flies out to Teshko. On the tag, Bermudez, who was dancing all night, tried to make the run for home and dent the scoreboard. But after 2.5, Pioneers nothing, Newark nothing. We'll be right back. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixler.com. All right, folks, we are back here live on Mixler.com and YouTube Live. And George, that play we just saw, unbelievable.
I mean, again, it was perfectly thrown. Set up a catcher in a perfect spot, and we talked about how far or how bouncy that runner had been. Again, having to tag up there, didn't have the speed to get in on time after a beautiful throw.
Certainly couldn't seem to find the speed to get down the line as the slide came. Well, the ball was already there.
Yep.
That one was dead to rights as Bryce Moskowitz comes to the plate. Moskowitz waiting. He takes a strike to lead things off here. He, of course, leading off. This will be his 3rd time leading off. Ofer as a leadoff hitter this season. Moskowitz waits. That one inside.
Only played 5 games for the University of Pittsburgh. Hitting 333.
Those are some pretty good numbers. 333 in 5 games. I'll take that. As that one's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Of course, since joining the Pioneers, had 10 at-bats and Ofer in the 10 at-bats. See what he can do here. The pitch. Outside. So the scoreboard has 3 and 1. I have 2 and 2.
I got 2 and 2.
All right. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. The windup and the pitch. That one's in there. Strike 3. So Moskowitz goes down, leading off the inning. And that will bring up Quinn Buffington. Buffington, who moves out of 1 and into the 9 spot, although you could often say these spots are somewhat interchangeable.
Yeah, you see that a lot, especially in the American League. You have very similar guys who usually look to just get that clean single and add some speed down the base paths.
He's 4 for 21 on the season. A $190 is the batting average. As we've seen what he can do when he hits the ball. He takes ball number 1. Has had a little trouble hitting the ball, though, this year, George. Just has not really come together for him quite yet.
No, he had that one really good triple the other night, but other than that, not too much out of the bat.
There's the windup and the pitch. Buffington connects, hits it right towards the third baseman, and there you see the speed as he's out. Was waiting for the umpire, who was deliberately long on that one. Waited, and I thought it was closer than the umpire did.
Yeah,
So
it was pretty close, but again, another tough one for Buffington.
as now Nathan Berg comes back up 0 for 1 on the night. See what he can do here. As they have not had an easy time with Murphy so far tonight. Not. Murphy deals. That one high.
Berg.
1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs.
Berg hitting .250 on the year now after that line out to second his first time out to start the game.
Waiting in. That one caught the corner.
Apparently.
1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. The Pioneers yet to register a hit. That one's in there, fouled back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that one, as it heads into the parking lot, we want to remind you to make the right decision.
Insist on Gerber collision.
And auto glass.
Yes.
Hopefully no one will need new auto glass after that ball went out there.
Nope, I parked close to the ballpark again, so hopefully not.
That one's in there for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
I've been slowly moving my car a little bit closer as we've played. I'm taking the risk. Because I know I can make the right decision if I need to.
One time you're going to come up here and say, well, I called Gerber collision.
Yep.
And auto glass. And they fixed my auto glass. As now, Murphy gets set, delivers, way outside. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Berg looking to get on base for the first time here tonight. See what he can do.
Only 1 base runner tonight for the Pios at the Richardson walk.
So we'll see. The windup and the pitch. Outside, ball 4, and heading down to first will be Nathan Berg. So that will bring up another impactful hitter, Ryan Teshko, who
and also defender.
Deserves I was just going to say, deserves a heck of a round of ovation after that amazing play from left. Teshko looking down, getting the sign from his third base coach. I'll tell you what, you're seeing a little bit of this trend. First pitch hits from the opposing teams over the last couple nights have been pretty prevalent. Wonder if the Pioneers might employ that strategy as you see Teshko swinging away. Certainly look to drive that one quite a ways, George.
Absolutely.
As that will send the runner back to first. Nathan Berg, 6'1", 180 pounds. Leadoff batter, so you can assume he can move. With that lanky frame, you would think he'd certainly have some speed. As the windup and the pitch, that one's grounded towards third, will bounce up, and the runner will not get to second on the fielder's choice. Teshko goes 0 for 2, strikeout and a ground out here tonight. And the Pios go down in order, or excuse me, not in order, but a very quick bottom of the third. No runs, no hits, no errors on the Pios stat line. We've got a 0-0 game here as we head towards the fourth. You're listening to Elmira Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. And with that, we are back here on Mixler.com and YouTube Live. We thank everybody who tunes in all Pioneer season long. Of course, next up, George going to bring up Sita. Sita 0 for 1. He's got a strikeout here tonight as a leadoff batter. Ty Sita 0 for 2. So certainly not a bad ways to start things off if you're a Pioneers fan.
Nope, out of Hamburg, New York. Lemoyne College or University, doesn't say.
It is Lemoyne College, I believe. The pitch is outside, ball 1.
No batting gloves.
Interesting approach with the wood bat. Wood bat, a little different than the metal bat. The metal bat, you do have that built-in rubber padding, as you don't have that with the wood bat. Swing for a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. So we saw the last inning with that amazing double play. Not the traditional by any stretch of the imagination.
Nope, but it worked.
It definitely worked. 1 ball, 1 strike. Swung on, hit towards short, and that one will get out towards the center fielder. So he breaks that over as a leadoff hitter as Sita gets in, and 1 for 2 on the day. So strikeout back in his first at bat, as now that'll bring up Gorman, who also was part of that 4 strikeouts. Wouldn't mind seeing another double play. This time maybe a little bit more traditional, 6 to 4 to 3.
Yeah, another one of the. You look a lot of shorter guys on this team.
It's definitely a shorter lineup.
Yeah. Gorman at 5'9".
At that last play that we saw, Berg, he's a right-handed pitcher and an infielder. Doesn't move quite as well at shortstop. That's kind of what I was talking about back in our Miller's Mowing pregame show. Remind you again, if your lawn isn't game day ready, give Miller's Mowing a call. They do great work, so make sure you give them a call today. As once again, see what the Pioneers can do here in the top of the 4th. The wind, and Beans, the batter, first hit by pitch of the night. Certainly unintentional. But
I was just about to say, the sun is now out of Terwilliger's eyes, so maybe some air control and idea of the strike zone, but apparently not.
As now that'll bring up Reynolds, the left fielder, over 1 with a strikeout as well. And I haven't seen a triple play yet here.
No.
Wouldn't be a bad time to see that happen.
I'd like to see one of those Eric Bruntley unassisted triple
I
plays.
was just going to say, I'm not sure we'll see it unassisted, but definitely take a triple play, as the Pioneers would love to get out of this inning without any more trouble. A bunt held up, and that one pulled back.
It's a little high.
I guess I'm not sure how that missed, but umpire says ball 1 after the pullback.
I wrote my things in the wrong inning. Messed up my box.
As once again, Terwilliger comes set. He checked the runner at second, and again the attempted bunt in there for a strike that time, as Reynolds doesn't agree and lets the referee, mind is still in hockey. Umpire no, as 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Runners on first and second. As once again, checking the runner a second, delivering. Terwilliger delivers strike 2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out. A chance to finally put an out up on the board, as now that first baseman and third baseman will get off that infield grass. And this bunt has become kind of a moot suggestion at this point. So, checking the runner at second again, winding up, dealing, and bounces up and past. That'll advance the runners to second and third, but luckily no further. So now it's time for another conversation with Terwilliger. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Trying to get his first out of the inning.
I mean, way outside. You can see the marking him in front of home plate.
Certainly.
A little bit too early on the release, or too late on the release.
And of course, not an easy play to be made back behind the plate. Trying to keep the ball in front of him, just was unable to do so.
Oh, hard one's about 2 feet outside.
Can't disagree with you there, George. As Terwilliger winds up, delivers, and in there for a strike. He tags the runner, and that will do it. The first out of the inning, as Reynolds earns his second K of the evening. That'll bring up Kelleher. Kelleher, the 9th batter. steps in. He's a left-handed batter. You're watching the entire Pioneers infield playing on the grass now, playing that prevent defense. The way that both pitchers have gone tonight, you don't even want to give up one run.
At the same time, just a bloop will bring in 2, so a little interesting here.
The fouled off pitch right back into the home screen as the Pioneers circle the infield, playing, once again, the best way to phrase it, I know it's more baseball term than baseball, but it's a prevent defense as every position player in on the infield grass. That one's in there for a strike. Kelleher shrugs his shoulders. I'm not sure what he didn't like about that.
The best prevent defense is a good pitch. We saw that right there.
I thought you were going to go with the Mel the Cook from Alice quote there. Best prevent defense is a good offense. As that one fouled back into the screen one more time. No balls, 2 strikes.
That's offense.
Offense, yes.
The organization.
I'm very Canadian today. Yes. We're going with offense. Best offense. As we heard the clipping from the booth next door. As the scorers trying to will on Terwilliger here. The pitch, that one swung on and foul tipped, as that will be a 4th consecutive pitch that is in their first strike. But so far, just 0-2 the count. You know the Pioneers would love to get out of this. However, the problem with Kelleher being up means Bermudez is on deck.
Certainly Bryce already.
Yes. As Terwilliger looks in, he delivers, and swinging strike. So double duty strikeouts done at the bottom of the order, as now Kelleher and Reynolds each have 2 strikeouts on the night.
Already 8 there for Terwilliger. Again, he struggled. He's had a lot of walks given up in a couple tough situations, having the bases loaded earlier. Now 2 men in scoring position here, but good job with the back-to-back strikeouts.
That being said, he's only allowed 2 hits. Yeah. He's pitched a good game. He just lost the control there for a little bit. That one's in there for a strike.
He's been getting in a rhythm, as you see right here, where once he gets that command, he just starts firing strikes.
We'll see what he can do here. Top of the 4th, it was looking dire. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. As that one bounces in, and that'll be 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. As we'll see. This will bring Terwilliger into a situation that Bermudez took advantage of earlier, driving one out to the field and getting his first single. Certainly don't want to give up another hit here, George.
Nope.
As Terwilliger looks in, gets the signs, and swing! Strike number 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes. So, Bermudez on the cusp of it here. Has not had a strikeout here tonight, George. One of very few in the lineup that hasn't swung and missed. As we'll see. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Terwilliger looking for it, and that one is hit towards right field. This is going to get down. Scores 1. Second one coming around and goes back 3rd. So that does score the run. Bermudez goes 2 for 2 on the night and has a walk as well. So he gets an RBI, the first run batted into the ball game, as that will put Newark up by 1-0. Brings up Fedor. Fedor, the center fielder, 0 for 1, got a base on balls. As now Terwilliger has to restart everything. Terwilliger comes out of the mound.
You see, disappointing, kicking up the dirt.
Certainly frustrated with himself.
Yep.
He's had the control. He's found the strike zone. He delivers. That one's fouled away. No balls, 1 strike. A run on the board here in the 4th inning. Although not
about to say not on the board yet.
A run on the paper in the 4th inning. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. As Terwilliger comes set. Focused immediately on the batter. He bounces one up. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs.
Another one that bounced in front of the batter's box.
So 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. A 1-0 ball game, and you know the Pioneers want to get out of this top of the 4th. Runners on 1st and 3rd, George.
They've been lucky early, but A tough one there with that bloop single.
As now the windup, the pitch, inside. So the run finally on the board here. As 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Terwilliger trying to battle his way out, and has not been an easy process so far, George. Delivery, swinging strike, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. As I believe I just heard throw him a chair.
There you
go. Interesting turn of phrase, something we have heard has been uttered from the Pioneers bench by certain equipment managers. As the pitch coming in, popped up towards right field. Getting over and making the catch. That will end the inning. So Fedor goes 0 for 2 and has a base on balls, but that puts an end to that long 4th inning. You're listening to the Elmira Pioneers here on Mixlr.com. And we are back here. Welcome in on Mixlr.com and live on YouTube.com. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. Appreciate it as George and I resume the call here in the booth. Gonna be Preston Moore as a leadoff batter. He's batting .400 as a leadoff batter in 5 at-bats, so 2 for 5. Not bad numbers there, George.
Nope, and he's got, once again, a big hole right up the middle where he could and smack one through. Again, the pitcher falling off very heavily to the first base side.
As that one inside, 1 ball, no strikes. So the Pioneers yet to register a hit, trail by 1 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The windup and the delivery. This one connected on over the shortstop's head, and that will end it as I said it. So I broke the jinx there.
Good job.
Somewhat intentionally. 1 for 2 goes Preston Moore, and that will bring up the second baseman, Mason Ruhlman. Ruhlman, with runners on base this season, has gone up to the plate 13 times. He's batting .385, George.
Pretty good there.
Not a terrible number. 7 RBIs with runners on base. Ruhlman certainly has the potential for power. As he connects with one there, that one's going to head right out and can of corn to the right fielder. So Ruhlman 0 for 2. As Kyle Richardson will come up. Richardson, the only Pioneer in the first trip through the order to reach base on balls.
Yeah.
So we talked about Ruhlman's ability to really be powerful, but he unfortunately put it right towards the right fielder.
Yeah, not a bad swing. It's not in the right spot.
You can't control anything once the ball hits the bat. All you can do is put the bat on the ball. As that's a very good stop from the catcher there for the Newark Pilots.
And he caught it behind his, it was past him, and he reached back and caught it.
So, very, very good catch. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. As Richardson, he swings, fouling 1 off. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
Went right into the opposing dugout there.
As
saw a couple bodies scatter.
Well, we talked earlier about an open stance, and Richardson, another one of those players with a very open stance. One of those players you would expect to pull the ball. And you saw there, even on the foul ball, right into the visitor's dugout. That one hammered as he pushes that one. That's going to get off the fence, but that's foul. Right off the Elmira heat treating sign. We want to thank all of our amazing sponsors for helping us out here in this season. It's been over 100 years of Pioneers baseball, and we can't do it without all of our amazing sponsors. So thank you. 131 years, George. That's impressive.
That's a lot.
As once again, Kyle Richardson, no official at bat as of yet, as he takes ball 2, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runner on first. And Richardson, of course, has had runners on base 9 times. He's hitting 222. Big gap between first and second. Would love to have a seeing eye hit right through there as he fouls off another one. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. We saw the push there on that foul ball, and that foul ball had some pretty good distance, George.
Did.
To straighten it out and get it to land somewhere else, though, preferably in between those 2 white lines on the field.
Yeah, a lot of room down that left field line. Left fielder playing over to his right, or our right.
As Murphy Wines deals, this one popped back up, out of play. So a lot of credit to Kyle Richardson, keeping himself alive, to say the least.
Yeah, battling.
As Richardson takes a look down at his third base coach. Continues looking. As now the bat boy has run out some new baseballs for the umpire, who will take a moment to dust off home plate, as he will make sure he's calling balls and strikes accurately by revealing where home plate should be.
Yeah, and the lights now come on here at Dunfield.
And historic Dunfield, as a matter of fact. As the pitcher comes set, working out of the stretch.
Runner goes.
Throws. Runner is off. He is going to get there. That one gets by the second baseman. Stolen base. And quite a steal there. As now we've got a 3-ball, 2-strike count. And an open base at first. Richardson really smart working this count. And I'll tell you, that wasn't the speediest stolen base I've ever seen. But Preston Moore made his way down to second.
Yeah, the catcher was a little caught off guard on that one.
I think the catcher thought about throwing back to first. He thought Moore was joking. As that one launches itself back towards the parking lot, remind you to make the right decision.
Insist on Gerber collision.
And auto glass.
Yeah.
As once again, Kyle Richardson. No official at bat. Base on balls. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The second baseman really holding Richardson on there pretty tight. As that one fouled away yet again.
Really inside. That would have been ball 4.
Should have been. The strike zone has varied just a little bit here tonight.
Just a little.
As we're here in the bottom of the 4th. Pioneers do have their first hit of the night, looking for their first run. That would tie up the ball game as they have a runner in scoring position. The pitch inside, ball 4. Richardson earns his second base on balls of the evening. And so still no official at bat for the catcher. Trevor Henneman playing first base tonight, 0 for 1. We'll see that unique batting stance come up to the plate, and with 1 out, he's looking to find a gap. He would love to drive in a run here.
Right now there's a big one if he's able to push it the opposite way in between first and second. That first baseman playing not on the line, but pretty close to the line.
Second baseman pinching right over there towards second base. And Henneman with runners on base, 0 for 3 on the season in that Bagwell-esque stance. He takes ball 1. I pointed this out back in the first game we watched Henneman play. Bagwell certainly had back problems later in his career. As a catcher, you can only imagine that has to be multiplied. As that one in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
I mean, with the catcher, I would think more of the knees. Again, having the knees bent all night.
For sure. As he once again, but however, that strike zone very, very tiny as you assume a position like that. As Henneman waits. The pitch in there for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 1 out. Pioneers looking for just their second hit of the ball game as they have runners on first and second, and it appears as though a managerial visit coming. Are we going to get a replacement pitcher?
No, there's no one up in the bullpen yet. So it's interesting timing in the middle of a count here. Coming off a walk and Now 2 balls here in the count.
Does have a strike. The umpire having a conversation now with Henneman as the continued organization here of Newark.
The organization.
That's what I'm calling it because they're in a very tight circle as the first baseman says, I'm done. And now shortstop, third baseman heading out. Second baseman has his marching orders, and the catcher finally returning towards home plate. Catcher, the last one to leave, as is traditional. And the manager makes his way back towards the dugout.
A lot of room to walk back there.
The umpire
dusting off again.
Dusting off the plate one more time.
He's still got time. The manager's still not in the dugout.
Yes.
Still going.
Do we have any activity down there in the bullpen, George?
We do not. No one, not even the catchers are down there.
So an interesting timeout there. As we'll see what Henneman can do here. You know, after one of those, you traditionally will see some demeanor as that one is thrown for a strike. That'll be fouled off by Henneman. Smart move by Henneman. A lot of times those delays will throw a batter's rotation off as the pitcher will come in and throw a very quick, easy strike right after one of those mound visits. However, Henneman right on top of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The pitcher winds. He delivers. Henneman hits it. This one could get into the gap, get down, and it does! As now the runners are off. We're going to see how many can score. One is definitely going to get in, as the runners will hold up at second and third, and we have a tie ball game. So, a great play there, George, as Henneman knocks his first hit of the night. Goes 1 for 2, drives in the RBI. And that brings up Zach Granger with runners on second and third.
I mean, Gorman went all out. He went stretched out there going out into the dirt. Regardless, it was going to be a double, but good job by the center fielder to get in and keep it only to 1 run.
Zach Granger with runners in scoring position is 1 for 4 with an RBI, batting .250. Look at the hole between first and second again. That first baseman staying very close. As that one's inside. 1 ball, no strikes. So the danger is out there, George. Yeah. We've got runners at second and third. A little bloop. Heck, even a atom ball.
I mean, again, you got big hole over when I have a second baseman shades over, so right up the middle, you got a nice room.
Ooh. As that one goes behind him, this is going to score a run. As the pass ball scores another one for the Pioneers and gives them their first lead of the ball game. So, gets in on the pass ball, and you see another pitch like that on a 2-0 count. Granger's not going to have anybody to drive in. No. Granger, now he can hit an atom ball anywhere and score the run.
Just about anywhere.
2 balls, no strikes. The defense playing prevent defense here.
Way in. With the exception of third base, almost everyone's on the grass.
Interesting decision here by the Newark Pilots.
Now have movement over in the bullpen.
The windup and the pitch. And outside, 3 balls, no strikes, 1 out. Pioneer still threatening. As George tries to find out who's down in the bullpen.
It is a righty. I'm waiting for him to turn around.
So we'll see. As the windup and the pitch connected with there by Granger, but couldn't get anything on it.
As it goes into the bullpen.
Granger 0 for 1 on the night. As we await the reveal of who's down there. Quite a few right-handers on any lineup, to be perfectly frank, so a little hard to tell. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Got a lot of room. You can get a little bloop over the infield here, all playing in.
That one's high, ball 4. Granger takes a walk. And that will bring up the designated hitter, Bryce Moskowitz. Runners at first and third. Only thing you don't want to happen here is a double play. Want to get that runner in from third. As Moskowitz, the designated hitter. Are we having any luck down there, George? Or
no, he almost turned around. A couple guys are warming up.
2 guys down there
now. Well, one guy just stopped. Now the other one's up. 25 is now getting his arm loose.
So that would be Dylan Blanchard, the freshman from Alfred, New York, also calling lefty. Newark home. He's a left-handed.
They had the righty warming up, and he just sat down as that one's fouled back towards us.
0-1 the count. So we'll see if Blanchard comes in. Blanchard, 6'5", 170 pounds. That's a lot of pitcher. As now, the Newark hurler, Alan Murphy, the junior from St. John Fisher, in a lot of trouble here as he tries to fight his way out. This one hit into foul territory, and the first baseman can't get there and runs into the fence right on the Hilton Garden Inn sign.
The other guy who was warming up, I believe, was number 21.
So that would be Brandon Odenall, the 6'4", 210-pound sophomore from Maryville, from Fenton, Missouri.
Right now, the lefties, the only one really warming up. They are almost switching off back and forth. I think we only have one catcher.
So an 0-2 count as the Pioneers look to extend a lead. That one's going to punch out the designated hitter, Bryce Moskowitz. So Moskowitz goes down looking, and that'll bring up Quinn Buffington. Buffington, runners in scoring position and 2 out, 1 for 4. So he's batting .250 in this situation. That could pay off. As Buffington, to be honest with you, Buffington could lay down a suicide squeeze here and beat out the play to first.
He could.
Don't think that's something we'll see.
No,
but
the infield's playing back all the way around.
So that might even be a better idea now. As once again, Buffington will take strike 1. 0-1 the count. Pioneers threatening. Runner on third. 2-1 the score in favor of the Elmira Pioneers. Buffington waits. The pitch. Throwing down here, an attempted stolen base at second, and gets the runner. So Buffington will not complete his at-bat. Won't get to finish it as Zach Granger tried to steal and is caught stealing. So at the end of 4, Pioneers 2, Newark 1. We've got an interesting set coming up here in the top of the 5th. We'll be right back. You're listening to .com. And we are back here live on Mixler.com and YouTube.com. George, we're back with a new pitcher, number 7, Connor Takis, the left-hander, 6'2", $185, sophomore out of the University of Albany. Has had a great 2019, 4-0 up in Albany. Not a bad start if you're a pitcher up there in the greater capital region.
A tall lefty.
Very tall. So another possible challenging situation if you're going to be throwing the ball over or around said pitcher. But as we look at his stat line, Takis has a 12 ERA, 0-1 this season as a starter. Has only thrown 3 innings of work, give up 7 hits and 6 runs, 4 of them earned. So not the start he's hoped for here in Elmira, but hopefully a chance to remedy that here tonight. So here's the throw down. As the Pioneers quick to make a change here in the top of the 5th. A little surprised at that.
A little surprised again. Terwilliger, he had his struggles with the walks. Maybe it was the pitch count that forced him out, but a lot of strikeouts for him.
Well, we talked about being a big issue, especially here in the early part of the season. As Denny comes up 0-for-1 with a strikeout and a walk on the night. So Denny will step back in. He'll be the first one to face Takis. As Denny steps up, looking out. The tall left-hander certainly looks intimidating out there on the mound.
Yep.
He winds and deals. Swinging strike number 1. That's not a bad way to start your first relief appearance here.
A lot of arm action there.
As Takis looks in. He waits, sets, winds and delivers, and outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. You see Takis as he works through the windup here, George. He comes set and really uses his size to move his pitch. You see there's very little bend here with the rotation. He winds up and throws, pops back up towards the booth, and right behind us, we remind you once again to make the right decision.
Insist on Gerber collision.
And auto glass.
Yes.
As Denny, 1 and 2 the count. As Takis is looking for his first strikeout here tonight. So, Denny waits. Denny has struck out here tonight already. As Takis winds, he deals, and low, ball 2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pioneers getting set for a long road trip, heading on the road tomorrow, then on the road again Tuesday, Wednesday, before home Thursday and Friday, and it's just going to be a rough one here for the Pioneers.
A lot of miles on the bus, but you hope you get the win so that you go into that long trip feeling good.
As 3 balls, 2 strikes. Pioneers up by 1. 2-1 the score here in the top of the 5th. Trying to get this game through the halfway point, as unfortunately, Terwilliger will get a no decision here tonight. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So second strikeout of the night there for Denny, as he goes to 0-2. Stir the DH, 1 for 2. He does have a strikeout here on the night. You look down the lineup, and there's not too many people who don't here, George.
No.
So,
and Terwilliger, 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 run. 4 walks and 8 strikeouts. So again, a lot of pitches there,
but not a bad stat line to say the least. As unfortunately, just comes up an inning shy there of making the decision. So the windup here from Takis, delivery in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike. Takis is showing some very good command here with that first pitch strike.
He is.
See what he does as he continues on. You wonder if this may be another game by committee, as you're only in the 5th inning right now. Another toss in there for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out.
A really good bounce, unlike some of the guys that we saw earlier today. He's not really falling off to one side, just coming straight downhill. Good arm action from the left side.
As Takis comes set. They'll wind up the pitch, and outside. 2 balls, 1 strike. It's interesting, George. Watch the arm and the knee, and it's almost on a string.
Mm-hmm.
Follows straight up and then right back forward. So, very synchronized movement. Line deal inside. 3 balls, 1 strike.
That's in front of a leg of the batter stir.
As this one will now look to go full, as Takis, who pitched very well through the first batter, now is trying to get himself back together here in the second out of the inning. Takis comes set. Stares in, delivers, and inside, ball 4. So Takis surrenders his first walk of the ball game. As that'll bring up Dupleshane. Dupleshane 0 for 1. Has a base on balls. Another one of the few players who hasn't struck out here tonight.
No, and Takis again, not a great first outing. We have 3 innings, but 7 hits, and 6 runs. But that's his first walk of a season. So again, he's been attacking the strike zone, but finding the barrel a little bit too much. At least in his first start. We'll get more bugs out of here.
We'll see if the ground ball double play could be in order here. You know, the Pioneers would like to hurry things along as they have a lead. Seems like for one of the few times in the homestand here, George, we've had a rough couple of games here at historic Dunn Field. So, Takis sets, delivers, as the catcher keeping that one in front of him. It's a tough challenge there for Richardson, but he's been very, very good at it, as have most of the Pioneers catching staff. Moskowitz has taken his turn, Redding in there as well. Throw over to first, not in time. As Takis gets the ball back.
Taka's a top 300 lefty in the country back in 2017 before going into college. Experienced arm.
For sure. Delivery. Swung on and fouled back towards the parking lot, where we insist you make the right decision.
And insist on Gerber collision.
And autoglass. So, as once again, the set here, it appears as though Takas has moved a little bit over to the left-hand side of the rubber. As the throw over is a little late again.
A little lackadaisical throw.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he's actually wanting to catch the runner as much as he is just delaying a little bit. He delivers, and that one is hammered out there into left field and is down. Coming around second and heading for third. That will do it, though, as the runners will stop on second and third with one out. So Dubelshane coming through big. That one gets down. He gets a double. No runners batted in, though, as the catcher, Saida, comes up. He's 1 for 2 on the night. Does have a strikeout, though, George.
He also, I messed up my sheet where I wrote him in the 5th inning instead of the 4th. Came around to score his last time up, and I wrote that in, and I scratched it off, and I was hoping we get a 1, 2, 3 inning so I could just keep those scratches on, but now I got to make do with what I did.
Well, 6 at-bats with runners at scoring position, batting a $167, and the Pioneers back to that prevent defense. Every infielder on the grass, and this one is hit hard out there to left, caught by the left fielder Teshko, who pins it into second base, and that will score the run and tie up the ball game. Teshko does make the out, though, as the sac fly, I guess you would call it, as the RBI comes in for Saida. And Gorman now will come up. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout and a hit by pitch. Certainly would not want to relive that one.
Nope. Stranded on third his last time up.
There are 2 outs in the inning, though. So big moment here for the Pioneers. They need to get this last out of this inning and get themselves back in the batter's box.
And we saw that Stallions game, the Pioneer almost had unfortunate there. The Pioneers had a couple times where they were up, but the pitching fell apart late. Trying to prevent that here. As
now we'll see the pitch inside, way inside. As you wonder how much of that has to do with where he's standing on the rubber. I'll tell you, that's making me...
he's all the way on the edge of that rubber to our left, his right.
And the pitches have moved more and more inside the more he's come over on that rubber. He started out back about a foot over. You can see the way his foot is resting there in almost, I don't want to call it a divot, but that's almost what it is, as that one is rolled out to the second baseman, thrown over and caught, as that will do it for the top half of the 5th. They tie it up with the, sac fly out to left is the best way to put it. 2-2 the score. 4.5 have been played. The Pioneers coming up to bat. We'll be right back. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. So, folks, welcome back. Quinn Buffington steps up. He'll resume his at bat that he unfortunately didn't get to finish there. Back in the bottom half of the fourth, definitely could have used that one to be finished off there, George.
Could, as he chops that one down. Not a smart decision to try and steal by Granger. He was a dead duck over there at second. He stranded the runner over on third. Henman.
Well, Buffington as a leadoff batter 9 times now. 222. As we'll see what Buffington can do here. Pioneers just 2 hits in the ballgame, but both of those hits in there for runs right now. So the count has not changed on the scoreboard here. We've got 1-1 count, I believe.
We do.
There it is, 1-1, held up.
No extra base hit yet for the Pioneers.
As the pitch, swinging strike number 2, 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. As the board still reflecting nothing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The umpire holds up his hands to show that off. As we'll see, Buffington waiting. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So we got the board fixed. 2 balls, 2 strikes now up there. Human error. It happens. As Buffington has an even count, looking to get on base. The pitch and swung on, and it is down, running it out, and will strike out. But excellent effort there by Buffington to really run that one out. I got to give credit where credit is due on that.
Love to see that. No Manny Machado's out there for the Pios.
For sure. So Nathan Berg steps up. He's 0 for 1. He's got the base on balls. And we'll see what he can do.
Stranded on first his last time up.
Love to see him get going here at the top of the batting order. Wind up and the pitch. High, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes.
Again, he's been one of the Pioneers' better hitters this year in limited games, hitting .333.
As we wait, it's wound up and dealt low. So, see what we've got here. As 1-1 the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The wind, the pitch. In there for a strike, just caught the corner.
That's that strike zone is expanding tonight.
It's been adjusted a few times as we're still getting some volume there through Mixler. So I do want to apologize to all our fans listening in on Mixler. Had a technical error there. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out as the Pioneers are here in the bottom of the 5th. Tie ball game, 2-2. Pioneers only with 2 hits here on the night. As once again, the windup and the pitch. As Berg will take ball 4.
Yeah. The board's a little slow.
All right. So that was ball 4, apparently. I had 2 and 2. So okay,
no one's arguing.
It is, all right. Well, there it is. So Berg walks for the second time. Ryan Teshko comes up. Teshko 0 for 2 has a strikeout here on the night. As we are here. Teshko getting set. Only 1 out in the inning. And we'll see what he can do.
A really nice sunset out to our left. We got pink skies there tonight.
Well, you know what they say. Pink skies in the morning, sailor's morning. Pink skies at night, sailor's delight. The windup, the pitch. Teshko taking strike number 1. As once again, Teshko came through a couple times yesterday. Would love to see him break the barrier here. We are over halfway into this game, George. 4.5 fully played.
Yeah, he had one good, again, a run-saving play out in left field where he gunned the runner out at home. Other than that, not too much at the plate.
As that one hops away and trying to move Berg, he will get there to second. That one gets over, and Berg is pinned down as he couldn't get up and run to third. Hopefully he's okay.
I think he's a little bit more slow to get up and pin.
We're going to hold that. Hold play for just a second as the second baseman came right down on top of Berg. That ball went way into center field. Berg should have had a chance to get to third, did not. So,
not much argument, though, from anyone there.
As now we'll see. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. As Teshko looking to drive in a runner in scoring position now. As pitcher steps off the mound, Teshko will step back into the box. Teshko staring out. Murphy still on the mound. Murphy trying to make it through 5 full as Teshko puts one out there to center field. This should get Berg to third. Berg waits. The play is caught. Berg heading for third now. Thrown in, and Berg will get into third. So Teshko does his job, advances the runner. And Mason Ruhlman, who was at one point leading the league in RBIs, will be looking to... Preston Moore comes up. I'm misreading my batting order. So
Moore came around to score his last time up, had a stolen base and a base hit. And look at what we got.
A big thank you. As once again, the Pioneers up to bat. Tied 2-2. Big hit here by Preston Moore. This is going to get down and drive in a run. So Moore will go 2 for 3 on the day. Moore coming around to second as he's punched out.
Yep.
So Moore will go 1 for 3. But he does get the RBI. Now, hold on. Matt Birch is arguing the call.
I thought he was a dead tuck out there. It was a little surprising he went to second. Birch out there kind of pointing towards the dirt over there, but again, a little surprised we're arguing this.
So Birch not happy with the call, but at the end of 5, the Pioneers retake the lead 3-2. And when we come back, it'll be the top of the 6th and another opportunity here as the Newark Pilots try to come back. We're listening to Mixler.com, your home for Pioneers action all season long. All right, and the Pioneers coming back out. They are back ahead 3-2 as once again we are ready for action here at historic Dunn Field. Another opportunity here as heading to the dish is Reynolds. Reynolds 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts on the night. Would love to see that night continue. Time is called. Not sure why.
No.
But Pioneers will reset. So another inning here. The pitch swing and a miss there by Reynolds, who has had a heck of a time putting the bat on the ball here tonight.
2 strikeouts looking. Not a great start for him.
As Takis would like to take advantage and get an out here. Takis pitches and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. So, see what Takis can do here. Nobody out. Would love to get a quick and easy 6th inning through the books here. This one popped up towards right. Flying out there, and the right fielder has plenty of time. Can of corn. So Reynolds goes 0 for 3. Only 2 strikeouts, so Takis would have loved to increase that number. But Kelleher comes up. He also has 2 strikeouts on the night. And we'll see if he has a little tougher time with Takis. So Takis resumes his spot on the mound. And again, Kelleher is playing second base. He's yet to reach base tonight. As looking in, Takis waits. He delivers, and this one is popped up towards the foul area. The third baseman not going to get there. That's a foul ball.
Great effort, though. I think a little slide in the dirt.
So dirt those home white there, George.
Preston Moore getting dirty.
Preston Moore gets dirty, and now it's time for a Tide Clean moment.
Yep.
Tide, we'd love to have you as a sponsor. P&G, we're talking to you as once again the Pioneers 0-1 the count. See what we can do here as talks come set. From the University of Albany, not necessarily one of the schools you think of as a great baseball program, but certainly have turned out a good prospect here out of Taucus. He's certainly been up to it so far here tonight. See what he does over the course of the season. The pitch, and that one's in there for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The University of Albany, Great Danes, George.
Yeah, I'm having a little trouble pulling up the MLB players from Albany. Wi-Fi being, there we go. A little slow, but we got it.
As there's a pitch, that one low for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike. As we'll see what Kelleher can do. 0 for 2 on the night, 2 strikeouts. We'd love to see another one of those. This time for Taucus. Taucus again, the way he's standing on the mound here, George, just a little bit
Way outside.
bothersome to me.
Yep.
He seems to set up almost to throw it into that right-handed batter's box. See what happens here. We're in the top of the 6th. The windup, the pitch, swinging foul ball. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. And the Pioneers trying to put another strikeout on the board. Taucus comes set. You see what I mean there with that foot? Goes right into an almost divot area.
Yep.
I'm not sure if that's self-made or if it was there or as now once again, Taucus comes set, he delivers, and this one is hit towards first base. Tossed over to Taucus, who steps on first for the out. 2 quick outs here.
That's fielding there by the pitcher Taucus.
Great way to keep yourself going. But that'll bring up a very tough out. Bermudez coming up to the dish. As once again, we'll see Bermudez. Bermudez 2 for 2 on the night, has a base on ball and an RBI. But with 2 outs here, hopefully, Bermudez can go down quietly.
So Albany has had 210 minor league players, no major league players.
Impressive. 210 in the minor leagues. I mean,
That's a lot.
that's a lot of players. As that one's fouled away.
That's more than most of these schools. But still, 210 and no big leaguers come out of Albany.
Seems somewhat surprising, does
Yeah.
it not?
It does.
You would think 1 out of 210 would bring. You look at Buffalo right below that. 98 minor leaguers, 8 major leaguers. I mean, the law of averages simply says you would have to get 1.
A lot of these guys are fairly recent, too.
So the Great Danes program clearly producing something recently. As now the delivery there, delivered right through into center field, and that is going to be the 3rd hit of the night for Bermudez. Taucus not able to slow down the speedy leadoff hitter.
No.
That'll bring up Fedor. Fedor 0 for 2. He's got a base on balls. And you're sure to see some dancing over there on first base.
We've seen that all night long.
All night.
Like he's got scorpions in his shoes all
It's,
over the place.
It certainly is reminiscent of that, yes. So we'll see. As Taucus comes set, we'll see how much attention he pays over to first base as well.
Not too much moving over there first. There it goes.
Delivery. Popped up towards right and caught by the right fielder who stretched himself out. Landed awkwardly, but makes the out. So a great play there by the Pioneers right fielder as that puts us through 6 defensive innings, and the Pioneers continue to lead 3-2. We'll see what happens next as the Pioneers will come to bat. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixler.com and live on YouTube. And with that, we are back here on Mixler.com and live on YouTube.com. Want to welcome in a new pitcher to the game. Number 25, Dylan Blanchard, the left-hander, freshman out of Alfred from Newark, New York. So the Newark Pilots bring in the hometown kid, and we'll see what he can do. Blanchard, so far this season, has made 2 appearances, has an ERA of 63, started 1 game, has only managed to register 1 inning of work in 2 appearances and a 63 ERA, George.
Not that great. Little tough start to be here for him.
Certainly is.
Hopefully doesn't turn it around tonight.
Well, you certainly would love to see the Pioneers take advantage if you possibly could, as I believe he's going to get his chance as Mason Ruhlman steps up, and we'll see what he can do. Would love to crank those numbers a little bit higher.
Final line on Murphy, 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts.
Right now, he would be saddled with the loss should the score not change.
Hopefully we keep it this way and give Medell.
Pioneers would love to get the W here tonight. 9 defensive outs away as the countdown has begun. So Ruhlman steps back up 0 for 2 on the night. Ruhlman waits the pitch and over the inside corner. Ruhlman ducking out of the way. Umpire says get back in there. So Ruhlman sets back in. He waits. The delivery, and Ruhlman gets a hold of one. This is going to come close to an outside foul ball. Ruhlman really wanted that one. As he pushed that down the left field line, just couldn't quite get it to stay fair, George.
Couldn't wave it over.
Certainly would have fanned it if he thought it would help. Ruhlman has had a rough go of it here in the batter's box and is still looking to put something together.
So no pitchers coming out, or no players coming out of Alfred either.
No players out of Alfred.
Nope, 2 minor league guys. 1 old, 1 fairly recent.
As now the windup, the delivery, and hits Ruhlman, so Ruhlman will head to first base. Ruhlman gets a hit by pitch, and that'll be the first time he's been on board here tonight. And that'll bring up Kyle Richardson, who's yet to register an official at bat. 2 bases on balls.
Came around to score on wild pitches last time out there.
Don't think we'll see another hit by pitch.
Nope.
Certainly would hope not.
We also have a righty also warming up already in the Pilots bullpen.
So interesting, as the Pilots seem to be very concerned about the pitching. The windup, the deal, and swing and a miss there for Richardson. So we have a number on that righty down there, George?
I do not.
I'm going to guess it's 21 Brandon Odenall, who was up a little bit earlier.
I believe that is who it is.
So look at that. Working together. As the delivery, and in there for strike number 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Richardson looking for his first official at bat. Would love it to end with a hit for sure.
Yes, he would.
As once again, Ruhlman stands on first base with the hit by pitch. The windup and pitch. Ruhlman heading for second, fouled back towards the parking lot, and we have to insist you make the right decision.
And go to Gerber Collision.
And Auto Glass.
Yes.
As Ruhlman will head back to first. A little surprising to see Ruhlman on the steam path.
Yeah,
don't get that a ton.
You didn't see too much of that.
But he will take a shorter lead from first this time. No balls, 2 strikes. The pitch and swing, and hold on, they're asking for balls. So
Yeah,
are they calling that a foul, I assume?
I don't know. I would think so. They haven't changed anything on the board.
So no balls, 2 strikes.
Oh.
Remains the count. As assume that was fouled off there.
The Blanchard mark with a fastball 70 to 70, powering a curveball 57 to 58.
So certainly effective with the curve if you can get it going there.
He maxed out at 72 on the fastball. So again, not too much, even though he's 6'5", got a little bit of extra length. Sling it up there.
It can also cause for a lot more movement.
That's
as
true.
You watch here. The pitch connected with. This is a pop-up and caught easily there by the first baseman. So the first bat for Kyle Richardson does not go to plan, doesn't advance the runner, and takes the seat himself. That'll bring up Trevor Henneman, the first baseman. Henneman stepping in, the Canisius College freshman. He had a .557 batting average with 8 homers and 36 RBIs in his senior year alone. Those are career high school numbers there, George.
Again, a pre-med guy, so maybe helping out Doc Emily there.
Could be.
A lot of smart guys on this Pio team.
Being pre-med, you would think he'd know a little bit about that bat stance and what it could do to you. As
he's sitting on a stool out there.
Pitch and fouled away. Back down into the batting cage there, George.
Athletic family. His father played at Bucknell, played football. Had a couple practices with the Eagles. Never played a game.
Holding on to that one for a little, George? Or?
No, I'm just mentioning
Philadelphia.
Just going through the notes.
Okay. The windup and the pitch. Big swing and a miss as Henneman was looking for the shamung.
Yeah. They say you only use 1% of your notes. So I gotta stretch it to 2%. And I'm a former basketball player and football player in high school as well.
Well, did you know in the lone playoff game last year, he was responsible for driving in 2 of Elmira's 5 runs? You were. Good to know.
Another Corning Painted Post guy, too.
He certainly is. Delivery and high, ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Canisius College. You know the notable pitcher who came out of there?
I do know.
That was John Axford.
Is it?
Yes.
Interesting. Did you know this season Henneman batted .306 in 12 games for Canisius, including a home run and 2 stolen bases?
I did know that.
We're going to crank him out here, folks, as the delivery, that one is fouled away. I believe that one would have been an almost assured ball. As the crowd gets loud, hope everyone's okay down there to our right.
I see a kid holding a baseball. So
yay, good for him.
That's good.
So he did play 30 games last year as well as a playoff game last season, and we talked about what he did in that.
Drove in 2 of 5 runs.
Certainly did. As he will look to advance a runner here. Swing. Grounded towards the shortstop area, and no one was there, so he is going to get a base hit. Good play there by Henneman, who moves to 2 for 3 for the night. Doesn't improve on the RBI, but gives Zach Granger a good shot. Granger 0 for 1, base on balls here tonight. This season, another strong one for Granger. Played 36 games, batted .387 with 7 home runs, 33 RBIs, and 10 stolen bases. So, we talked about his attempted stolen base earlier, but
not a smart one, but
not a good one here. But he's been successful with the stolen base during the course of the year.
Another Horseheads resident.
As now still 1 out, Pioneers threatening yet again. The windup, the pitch, and inside ball 1.
So I ask you, these guys who are from Corning Painted Post and Horseheads, do they stay with their parents? Do they stay with the team? How do those local
I think it's
guys
a little bit of a mixture. They definitely have housing available to them. Some beautiful housing, as a matter of fact. As sometimes, though, mom's cooking can
that's true.
Can improve a hitting streak too. So
try some better food.
Well, when you get college kids cooking, I'm gonna guess it's a lot of ramen and Kraft mac and cheese. Although I'm a fan. That one's outside. This is gonna be a stolen base here at third, and the runner from first gets on as well. And we will have runners at second and third. I didn't see the call at the plate. I believe that it was a ball, but
yeah.
We'll wait and see. The scoreboard hasn't changed. I believe we've got a 2-0 count, an open base at first. But we'll wait for the umpire's hands to go up with numbers. He's doing something to his...
I didn't see what... We're going to go with 2-0.
We're going with 2-0. That is my assumption. As prevent defense on yet again. We've seen a lot of this here tonight. Swinging strike. As that should bring the count. 2 balls, 1 strike. The umpire now signals down. 2 balls, 1 strike. Prevent defense is on. Granger would love to bloop one over one of these infielders. As the outfield, look at how deep the outfield is playing compared to this infield on the infield grass.
You got another big gap out there in right center field.
As the pitch is swung on and a miss. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 1 out. Runners at second and third, and the second and shortstop both return back here. They seem to be doing quite a bit of walking. There's some fireworks going on somewhere. Can hear that out towards our right-hand side, George.
Hopefully get them on the bats, too.
Would love to have a reason for those fireworks to shoot off. The wind, the pitch. Rung him up looking as Granger goes down. He goes 0 for 2 on the night, has a base on balls and a strikeout as Bryce Moskowitz will approach.
He's looking for something.
0 for 2, has the strikeout already.
2 strikeouts looking for him.
As now Bryce, who played baseball for Lyons Township High School in LaGrange, Illinois, where he was a first-team all-area, all-conference team, and all-conference academic senior year. Also a member of the White Sox Elite.
Yeah, in 2016, 2018.
He was. Also played football. Commended National Merit Scholar, honor roll recipient.
And one of his engineers on the team, and we now have a visit on the mound.
We'll see if this makes any difference. You would think Newark would want to get their pitcher through the inning.
Again, number 21, still warming up, a righty out there.
As Moskowitz has not found a ton of success here tonight.
Nope.
You would think there'd be very little to discuss here after striking out Granger.
2 walks the other night against the Stallions.
Well, Moskowitz does have a lot of patience at the plate, so you could see a bounced pitch, a pass ball coming in for a scored run. That would be an ideal situation for the Pioneers, George.
That'd certainly be ideal.
Love to get that insurance run out there. As again, they're just 9 defensive outs away from a victory here tonight, as we have almost played 2/3 of a game. So, the set, wind up, pitch, and outside, ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes.
I'm going to hate myself for saying this, but it's been 2 hours. We have a good flow to this game as I knock on wood. It's been very, again, not the quickest game, but again, a good pace and a good flow.
I hope that counters wood. Once again, the pitch driven out towards center field. This is going to score 2 as the Pioneers will go up 5-2. So a big hit at the right time for the designated hitter, Bryce Moskowitz, who drives in 2 RBIs.
That's a good way to make up for 2 strikeouts looking to start the game.
Certainly will take it.
Driving those 2 runs.
As that'll bring up Quinn Buffington, who comes up with a runner on first.
Buffington also continuing to struggle. Struck out his last time up and grounded out in the 3rd inning.
Of course, that was as a leadoff batter, so hopefully the change of position will change things up here as he comes in with 2 outs, a runner on first. Big gap there to the right.
The first baseman holding him on.
As Buffington waits, the throw over to check on Moskowitz. A little interesting. I'm not sure Moskowitz is one you would assume would be much of a base stealer.
We said you don't usually see the DH trying to steal. We did see some interesting David Ortiz stolen base numbers when we looked that up. A lot of them for him.
As the windup and the pitch outside. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Pioneers looking to add to their already impressive total. 5-2 ball game here against the Newark Pilots, who began the losing streak that now sits at 5. Pioneers need to get their way through this one. That one outside again. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs. The Newark pitcher trying to work his way through the 6th inning has given up 2 runs as Blanchard trying to make his way out of it.
Looks like this is his inning as the pitcher sat down from the bullpen.
Interesting. 2 balls, no strikes, 2 outs on Buffington. Buffington looks, 3 balls, no strikes, 2 outs.
That's why I'm not taking the bat off my shoulder from Buffington. You've struggled all season long. An opportunity just to walk on base.
As we'll see, Moskowitz staying pretty tight to first over there. Oh, he takes the 2nd step for the first time this at bat. As that one inside, ball for the Pioneers. Now have runners on first and second base as Buffington will take a stroll. It's not Sunday, but it's a Sunday leisurely stroll down there.
Hopefully we're not here early on Sunday.
No, we'll be heading up to Geneva, so make sure to tune in and stay with me as the Pioneers look for some retribution after that last game against those Geneva Red Wings.
Spiderweb is back in that corner.
Well, we'll have some more cleaning to do on Monday.
We will.
As once again, this will be Nathan Berg, 0 for 1, 2 base on balls here on the evening. The windup, the pitch, Berg connecting, heading that one up and out of play. As once again, we remind you to make the right decision.
Insist on Gerber collision.
And auto glass. So, Berg looking for a little more insurance here. Pioneers have scored now in 3 consecutive innings. The middle of this game has been all Elmira. 2 runs in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 here in the 6th so far. Runners on, threatening. That one's inside as well. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. So we talked about the fireworks going on somewhere close by. And hopefully that means the Pioneers aren't quite done yet. Nathan Berg. He waits. Looking out. The windup, the pitch. Outside. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Buffington with a moderate lead off first. Moskowitz is really not pushing his luck over there on second. We talked about it a little bit earlier, not known as a base stealer. Certainly doesn't want to make the jaunt down to third. As the windup and the pitch. Hit! Connected on in a big grab there by the third baseman. So Berg will go 0 for 2. And the Pioneers have finished 6th. They've got a 5-2 lead after adding 2 in the bottom half of that inning. They've increased their hit total to 5. So as we go to break, we'll be right back here. A 5-2 game for the Elmira Pioneers. You're listening to Mixlr.com. And we are back here live from historic Dunn Field as once again, Pioneers looking to accomplish 3 defensive outs as they will look to push it through to the 8th inning. George, they need 9 in total, but a 3 spot would put them in a really, really good position with a 3-run lead.
I mean, they're sitting pretty well right now with a 5-2 lead. We talked about the last couple games. They've given up either 6 or 7 runs during this losing streak, and then obviously the 15 to Adirondack. A little bit of an outlier, but again, good to see the pitching keeping it under control tonight.
As Takas comes back out for his 3rd inning of work on the hook for the win right now. Yeah. As Denny comes out, he's 0 for 2, has 2 strikeouts and a base on balls. Would not be a bad time to get a quick inning here if you're Takas and you want to work through the rest of it. Thrown in there, that one high for ball number 1. So I say quick inning, and immediately Takas throws ball 1. He's been very good with the control here in his first 2 innings of work. The windup and the pitch. High yet again. 2 balls, no strikes.
He gave up that 1 run earlier.
He did give up the 1 run, but the Pioneers' offense has certainly done their duty here tonight. See what they can do here. The windup, the pitch, connected, and again in between short and third. I got to tell you, Berg has had a heck of a night at the plate, drawing the walks, good eye, but just does not appear to be able to range as much as you would like a shortstop to range.
No, he's not.
So that'll be the first hit of the night for Denny and bring up Stir. Stir 1 for 2. He's got a strikeout, a base on balls, and a single to his credit.
He scored the only run tonight for the Pilots. or
They
one
have
of two runs. 1 run in that inning, I should say.
As we will hope for a, well, either 4-6-3 or a 6-4-3 double play here, as that would be the ideal situation.
So we're double play defense here. Outfield at normal depth. And left fielder playing back a step.
Big swing there on the first pitch of the at-bat, 0-1. Like we said, 9 defensive outs away from a victory and snapping a 5-game losing streak, George. Can't ask for much more than that.
You can't.
As, yes, it's early in the season, but you don't want to have any issues like that for too long as the runner gets back in time. Really great playing here by the first base and pitcher, just keeping the runner close. As the windup and pitch, big swing, strike number 2. No balls, 2 strikes. Pioneers looking for the first out of the inning. Takis has come in and certainly pitched very well here in the 5th and 6th inning, now into his 3rd inning of work. Takis comes set, looks in. He winds and delivers, and foul ball as the runner at first feigned going. That one headed out towards the parking lot, so George, make the right decision.
Insist on Gerber collision and auto glass.
There you go.
And again, we talk about the pitching. The Pios, I mean, to think the first 3 of the first 5 pilots walked.
Unbelievable.
And they've only scored 2 runs in this game, so they've really locked it down lately.
As Takis winds, deals, and ball. First ball of the at-bat. 1-2 the count. I mean, to take nothing away from the walks, but 6 hits on the board as well. And
Yep.
I'll tell you what, hits have been effective against the Pioneers thus far here in the early part of the season. The hits have gone for runs a lot more often than the Pioneers would like.
It's also getting a little cool out there now. Not just our fan in here. Out, I can feel the air. Air is getting kind of cool now as the sun is completely set here at historic Dunfield.
Takis feigns over to first. I'm feeling that word tonight, George. I've used it quite a bit. We're going with feigns.
Feign.
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 They'll wind up the pitch and hops out ahead. Quick play there by the catcher. As once again, this will be Takis's pitch here. We're waiting to see what he can do. He threw that last one in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Excuse me. As Takis comes set. Runner at first, bounding around over there. A lot of that on the base pass tonight, George. The throw. This one's grounded. Foul. So, saves the Pioneers a headache there. As I said, we've seen a lot of bounding around on the base path, George. A little different look from the speedy fielders.
Yeah, again, we haven't seen too much of, in terms of stolen bases throughout this season for some of the other clubs that have come through here, but we've seen Newark, like you said, kind of dancing around on the bases and making stuff happen. Yeah,
the stolen bases aren't quite there, but the attention to the runner has had to be pretty prevalent.
And again, I said a couple times how much I hate the throwovers, especially when you have like 2 or 3 just back to back to back.
Oh, for sure.
It's one of those things I wish baseball would fix. I don't know how you can fix it because if you limit to 2 in an at bat as that one's fouled off, I don't know how you can keep that runner in check.
I don't think you can.
It's one of those things where you talk about the pace of play and cutting down the time in a major league game.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those things. Again, they've cut out some of the meetings on the mound, but I wish there was a way to kind of cut down on those throwovers because, again, sometimes you have a ton of them in one inning that really drags out the game.
For sure.
As we have right now.
You know, a good way to eliminate that, George, is this one is popped up towards right field and will be caught.
Could have let that one drop and get that lead runner.
Could have, but is there any batter on this team you'd really want on first base? I'll tell you what, I don't know that there is, as that'll bring up Dupleshane. So 1 for 3 goes Stir, and Dupleshane comes up. He's 1 for 2 on the night, base on balls, and a double.
Mm-hmm. Stranded last time out there.
He was. As now 1 out, registered on the board. 5-2 the score. as once again the Pioneers now 8 outs away from getting the W. As that one in there for a ball, a little bit high.
A little high.
As I was saying before the out came, George, there's one very sure way to eliminate throwovers.
Don't let anyone on.
There it is. Very quick and easy way to eliminate the need to throw and check the runner. Don't allow a runner. And that is certainly what the Pioneers trying to do here tonight, as that one comes in a bit low. 2 balls, no strikes. And it appears as though the catcher looking to settle things down a little bit.
Yep, little clap of a glove. And no one up in the Pilots bullpen. There's a righty warming up for the Pios.
As we'll see what happens down there. As I try to get a look, I believe that's Neftali Severino Cronier.
Hasn't had a great start to the season.
As that one's inside. 3 balls, no strikes. Cronier would be an interesting choice. Hasn't come in as a reliever as of yet. Started off the game back a couple days ago here, but
went 4 2/3, gave up 7 earned runs, 9 total.
As now the windup, the delivery, and in there for a strike. Severino Cronier was the starting pitcher of note against the Adirondack Trailblazers in a game that just did not go Elmira's way. Cronier, I'll be perfectly frank, was as that one goes in, was a little bit pressed for luck as he ran into a couple of defensive misplays. Should have been out of the first inning, but shortstop and second baseman collided. Second baseman got in the way of this shortstop thrown to first. Just some bad infield play. So Cronier, yes, not the start he wanted, but swinging strike and possible. Nope, that's going to be safe as the drop of the ball there at second. They do get the strikeout, but Mason Ruhlman can't hold on to it for the strikeout, throw him out, double play.
He had one of those the other night.
He did. Would love to have had another one there. Just couldn't get it, as now we've got 2 outs in the inning, and that will bring up Saida. Saida, the catcher, 1 for 3, as Dupleshain strikes out for his first time tonight.
He's responsible for both of the runs, scored one of them and drove in the other.
He certainly did, as Saida has struck out, though, tonight as well.
Yes, he has.
So we'll see what he can do here, as the Pioneers certainly hoping he can take a seat.
We'd all like to take a seat.
As Saida really taking his time getting set there.
Yeah, no batting gloves, no arm sleeves.
The windup, the delivery, big swing, strike number 1.
Does have a 1 with the elbow guard.
So we've got an 0-1 count. As I said, it will be interesting if Cronier comes in. Would have a shot at a save with 3 runs being the difference right now, if that stays the same going into the 8th. Of course, during the middle of the 7th, we'll have the 7th inning stretch. So make sure even those of you at home get up, stretch your legs, move around a little bit, maybe get out of the booth.
There have been a lot. 7 major league players from Lemoyne, which is where he's from. 7. That's a lot.
That is quite a number.
Not too many recent.
So checking back on the runner, the windup, the delivery, in there for a strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the Pioneers 1 strike away from closing out the 7th.
Tom Browning ring a bell for you?
The name does ring a bell, I will be honest.
He has pitched a lot in the major leagues at one point in the 80s and 90s.
Are you calling me old, sir?
No.
There's the windup, the delivery, outside, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, another tag-down showdown, George.
Just calling the facts here. Former Red and Royal. Won a World Series. Went to an All-Star game, Tom Browning.
As now, coming set. See if Takas can get out of this inning. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Huge lead back there at second. Wind up dealing and bounces away. Going for third. The throw, no throw by the catcher.
That's honestly a smart one. I mean, the third baseman was playing off. You don't want that one to sail out into the vast open land that is left field in the foul corner.
That is very true. So a good nope throw there as we move to 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the Pioneers will be desperately looking to get out of this inning here. They've got a runner on third. Saida at the plate, responsible for both runs here tonight. The pitch, swinging strike, and the Pioneers get out of the 7th. Saida takes a seat, goes 1 for 4 on the night, 2 strikeouts, and the RBI. This is the 7th inning stretch. We'll be right back. You're listening to Elmira Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. And with that, we are back here live from historic Dunfield, a 5-2 lead in George. Getting excited at this point.
We are. The Pine Nets are just wrapping up, and we're back out with a little 3-run lead.
Ryan Teschko 0 for 3 on the night. Does have a strikeout, but will be leading off this time, so a little different opportunity here for him.
Also an outfield assist.
He does. The swing there, popped that one back towards our booth.
It's usually by hockey we're talking about assists.
It is, for sure. But the assist on the double play, he'll take it for sure. As that one went over the booth, makes the right decision.
And insist on Gerber collision.
And auto glass. As once again, the pitching staying the same. A little bit surprising there as we saw a pitcher up warming in the Newark bullpen. Swinging strike 2.
He is back up.
So perhaps short leash. But the Pioneers got to be focused on 6 defensive outs. And they can come away with a victory here. Breaking a possible 5-game losing streak they've been on here. That was a large insect that just flew in here. Big swinging strike. No, they're going to say he fouled it off. As we try not to break the camera.
I'm trying. It went under your phone.
Oh, okay. So
it's over there somewhere. I think it's under your phone. Under your phone. There it is.
Oh, there it goes. All right.
Into the corner of the desk
behind the paperwork. Okay, good stuff. Yep. All right. So 0-2 the count. Big pitch here outside and in the opposite batter's box. So Teschko going to be looking for his chance to stay alive.
It's on the paper.
Will you see it?
I see it. There it goes. Now by your pants on the floor.
As once again,
way outside.
2 balls, no strikes, and it's under the desk. So
went somewhere. Hopefully nowhere near me.
There we are. Hopefully right into the fan. As Teschko will.
We love animals here.
Animals, yes. Insects, not so much. As 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. The windup and pitch connected. Teschko going to get in there. Single. As that one falls into the right fielder. As Teschko goes 1 for 4 on the night.
Nice to see him get that hit.
As that'll bring up Preston Moore. Moore 1 for 3 on the night. Does have an RBI.
Also a run scored, a stolen base. He was thrown out. His trying to advance to second his last time out.
As now Moore. He'll look out. Wait on the pitch here. as the Newark, New York native delivers. Big swing there from Moore as he's trying to hit it out. So interesting strategy here by the Pioneers third baseman.
Not too much wind to assist with that. A little tough to hit one out of here.
Certainly not an easy task with a 20-foot wall. Big swing again from Preston Moore. So Moore's coming up looking to up his power numbers.
Yes, he is.
0-2 is the count. See what he can do here as Teshko stepping out to a considerable lead over there at first. He's off. No, he fools the pitcher who throws that one outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We'll see Teshko stretching his legs as if maybe this time won't be just a ploy. We'll see what Teshko decides to do here. As the throw over, Teshko diving back towards first base. The check unsuccessful. Your favorite play in baseball there, George.
Yep.
As once again.
See, baseball did listen to me, though, with the intentional walk, not having to waste those 4 pitches.
It did. We saw that for the first time last night, as a matter of fact.
My favorite new play.
The delivery. And outside, Teshko, stutter step start. He gets there and is out. So tagged out, caught stealing is Teshko. And that will put up another number here for Preston Moore as he will have to try to keep himself alive now with 1 out, nobody on first. Teshko's stutter step there really killed him at first base. He pulled up and then started going, so just that 1 step kind of messed it up there for him as we have got a 2 ball, 2 strike count, 1 out. As the pitch delivered, swinging strike 3. Moore goes down, and he goes to 1-4 on the night with a strikeout. So that'll bring up Mason Ruhlman, who's been hit by a pitch here tonight.
Came around to scores last time up, but also lined out to right field twice tonight.
So Ruhlman trying to get his bat going. And we'll see what happens here as the Pioneers come to bat one more time. No balls, no strikes, 2 out. Mason Ruhlman up to the plate. He waits and puts bat on ball, popped up right behind second. This should be an easy play, and it will be as Ruhlman goes 0 for 3 on the night, and the Pioneers go down 1, 2, 3, if you will, on the caught stealing. So at the end of 7 full, Pioneers 5, Newark 2, and it appears as though we're going to get some changes as Neftali Severino Cronier will enter the game as a pitcher. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Elmira Pioneers on Mixlr.com. All right, folks, and we are back here. Neftali Severino Cronier steps into the game. We brought this up before we went to break. Cronier has not had the greatest of starts here this season. Was a starting pitcher of note in the Adirondack game. As I mentioned when George and I were talking about it before the break, he certainly did not have the defense behind him in that one. Now he just needs 6 outs, and he can come away with a save here, George. 2-inning save. That would be a great place for him to start. He's from St. Gabriel High School in Boisbriand, Quebec. And I'm sure I massacred that, so I do apologize to anyone listening in. I know I'm a hockey guy, but that's not my not my strong suit right there. So I do apologize, and please feel free to correct my horrible French.
He's been a good asset for the organization. Go back to the Canadian speak.
We'll go there as Cronier delivers his first pitch and inside ball one as Gorman is up 0 for 2. Struck out, was hit by a pitch thus far. Cronier had to throw a lot of pitches in that Adirondack game. So it's good to see him in a relieving role here tonight as that one is in for a strike. The one thing I can say about Cronier after that Adirondack start, he certainly had a lot of control. There was a command. He really was able to punch things through. Unfortunately, when the ball was connected with the infield, just did not back him up. As that one is fouled towards first base and will get down. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and Cronier came all the way over trying to get that one himself. So certainly an athlete in all aspects of the word there, George.
Yeah, not too many guys coming out of Quebec, out of any school. only one guy is, at least on Corner Baseball Reference, ever come out of Quebec. This is a high school player.
Well, there's a few there. That's Quebec. That's Quebec.
Oh, that's Quebec. Well, Quebec City.
As that's in there. So,
still not too many.
Not a ton. As Quebec really has not been a haven since the Expos left.
No.
As there's a fouled off pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out.
And a couple guys from the one that's out of Montreal.
There's Hull, Montreal. Dip a bit into my French.
Eric Gagne, Russell Martin.
Gagne and Martin, yes, both Quebec natives.
Pete LaForest, the great Philly, not really.
Delivery, swing, and a strike. So Cronier earns a K here. You said LaForest, my brain went to Mark.
Right. I was thinking of the Flyers' great goalie, LaForest.
Mark, who also spent some time just down the road in Binghamton, New York, playing for the Binghamton Rangers during my childhood, along with Don Biggs and Jeff Bloomberg. And Rob Zaminer, as a matter of fact, for those of you who might have a little interest in hockey. Remind you now, Enforcer season tickets are on sale, 607-734-PUCK. And they will be looking to go on the Labella Power Play, who reminds you, we are powered
by partnership.
Once again, Pioneers going back to work here. 1 out in the inning. What a fog. I think that might be from the fireworks there, George. As that one's in for a strike.
Philippe Aumont, the former Phillies bust, also out of Quebec. Part of the Cliff Lee trade to Seattle. That was one of the worst trades in baseball history.
No balls, 1 strike. That one in. Strike 2. So Severino Cronier has been dealing here, George.
He has. Again, no defense. Messing up his box score tonight. Not yet, at least. Hopefully not.
As the delivery in. Strike 3. Cronier, 2 up, 2 strikes. And whew, that's not a bad way to come in as he gives Reynolds his 3rd strikeout of the night. So, unfortunately, with just 4 outs remaining, 4 defensive outs remaining needed for the Pioneers. Not sure we'll get to Golden Sombrero over here, but Reynolds is in the unenviable position of having 3 strikeouts on his ledger. Big swing there, fouled up and off the roof. Make the right decision.
Insist on Garber Collision, Severino Cronier, 2018 WWBA World Championship All-Tournament Team.
Representing his home of Canada.
Yes. BCS National Championship All-Tournament Team for 2 years.
He is. He's played on that.
Another bug comes in here.
Another pitch in there for strike number 2. Cronier on the doorstep of striking out the side, George.
He dialed tonight.
Well, we talked about it earlier. It was the defense that really kind of snuck up on Cronier back a couple days ago. He certainly hasn't given them the opportunity here as this one grounded towards second, right into the glove, over to first, and that will do it. A 1-2-3 inning for Severino Cronier. And you can't ask for a better entrance to the ball game, George, as now the Pioneers come up for the bottom of the 8th. We're going to step aside. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on Mixlr.com. And with that, we are back here live on Mixler.com, YouTube.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm John Clement alongside George Stockberger. George, whew, what a game so far. As Kyle Richardson 0 for 1, 2 base on balls on the night, steps in. We'll see. Pioneers are 3 defensive outs away from claiming their 3rd victory of the season. That one looked outside there for ball 1.
And a much needed one. We talked about the 5-game losing streak coming in and how important the pitching had to be tonight because they had averaged, 6 or 7 runs in the last handful of games. So, again, locking them down to only 2 runs so far tonight.
And Severino Cronier, magnificent in that last half inning. We'll see what he can do. If he's, actually, I haven't looked down at the bullpen yet. Nope, nobody down there. So it should be Severino Cronier's game to finish if he can knock out the save. Getting set. He waits. The deal. The connection there popped up towards left field. And it's running in between left and center. Caught. Can of corn for the left fielder, as that will put Richardson at 0-2. Henneman and Granger, the remaining 2, due up in the bottom of the 8th. I'm not sure anybody is too concerned with the statistical side of it. Would love to get back to the top of the 9th and just close this one out.
Yep. Henneman here came around to score his last time out there after a base hit.
As he steps back in.
Wanted 2 runs to score him a 6th.
As we'll see what Henneman can do here. He crouches and is set. Looking in, delivers, and outside ball 1.
Bounced in the batter's box.
It did. So a little bit outside.
He tried to frame it, though.
He did try to frame.
Try.
I don't know if once the dirt pops up.
The cloud of dust kind of gives away the framing.
So 1 ball, no strikes. The pitch. And swung on there. This one is out to right field. Second baseman chasing back after it, and he will get there. So 2 quick outs here for the Pioneers as Henneman goes 2 for 4. Does have an RBI on the night.
He does.
Granger 0 for 2 does have a base on ball, has a strikeout.
Caught stealing as well in the 4th.
Yeah.
That was the third out in that inning.
That was a poor choice, but was what it was. We'll see what he can do here. First 2 batters have put bat on ball, though. So you like to see that for the Pioneers, who have really struggled to get anything going in the hitting department this season. As the wind up the pitch, a swing there from Granger. And he's looking, I think I said it earlier, looking to increase the power numbers and certainly trying to get there. As once again, Granger comes set. He waits on the pitch. The windup. Delivery. Outside ball 1. 1-1.
Outside.
As that one was about at the backside of the batter's box there, George. So it's finally cooling down in here.
It is kind of cooling down. Turn the fan down. I thought it did. Almost feels like it's getting more.
Another pitch in there. That one just bounced. So 2 balls, 1 strike.
Think I fixed the fan?
As yes, I do believe you did. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. As Granger.
It's getting very cold up here.
Looking out. As we'll see what the Pioneers can do here in the bottom of the 8th. Didn't score anything in the bottom of the 7th. First time in 3 innings, actually, that they hadn't put up a tally on the board. 4th, 5th, and 6th were really, really positive innings for the Elmira Pioneers. 2 runs in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, 2 in the 6th. And that put them at the 5-2 lead we sit at right now. So another attempt here. Granger waits. 3-1 the count. Fouls one back towards the booth next to us. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Did you bring your glove, John?
I did not.
Neither did I.
I haven't seen one come into our booth yet, but
we got a nice small
window.
3x4 window, or
we'll go with that seems a bit
by,
big actually. Maybe 3 by.
It's not 3x3, is it?
I don't think so. The pitch in there and punches out Granger. So very quick work here in the bottom of the 8th. Granger goes down 0 for 3, 2 strikeouts on the night. And hopefully that will be the last time the Pioneers bat on the evening. We'll see. Cronier heads back to the hill. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Pioneers on Mixler.com. All right, and with that, we are back. Hopefully, for the last half inning of work, George, the Pioneers, 3 defensive outs away from a victory. The first one in 5 long games. Not going to be easy. Bermudez comes up 3 for 3 on the night, has a base on balls, has an RBI. Certainly hope he won't be able to tally an RBI. Although the speed of Bermudez, you never know. As the pitch, he turned a bunt.
They're playing back all the way around with the exception third baseman playing in just a hair, and he now comes in all the way to the grass.
As Bermudez, he may try to bunt. He certainly got the speed to beat it out. The Newark Pilots trail by 3 as he feigns a bunt again. There's a strike call. So I believe we've got a 1-1 count according to the board.
That's what I have.
So
that's what the umpire just showed. I see a big bug moving up behind the door by my face.
And that one's in there. Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike.
I think we found our friend who entered earlier.
It is, actually, as a matter of fact.
We got to keep him back there.
It sounds like a good idea, as we're not sure what that was. 2 balls, 1 strike. The delivery popped up there into foul territory, and it's going to get foul. First baseman can't beat it out. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. And Neftali Severino Cronier really having a night here.
Yeah, again, we talked about some of his accolades coming in. 2017-2018 BCS National Championship All-Tournament Team.
Part of Team Canada. So, I mean, that's fairly impressive right there. Cronier comes set. He winds, delivers, and pop towards center. The center fielder, Buffington, not going to make it. That gets down, and the attempt to go to second will be held up. That'll mean for the 5th time tonight, Bermudez will dance on the base paths.
Yeah, walk and 4 singles for him tonight.
That'll bring up Fedor, who's 0 for 2. Base on ball, 0 for 3, excuse me. 0 for 3 with the base on balls.
Has 3 flyouts to right field and then the walk in the first inning.
Was wondering about my math there. How did he get 0 for 2? As there's the pitch in there for a strike. No balls, 1 strike, nobody out. As the Elmira Pioneers looking for those magical final 3 outs to end a very, very long losing streak. Swung, hit towards third. Third baseman's not going to get there. That one's in for a single again, and Teshko will hurry himself over. 1 for 4 on the night goes Fedor. And the questions begin again.
No one up in the bullpen just yet. Just a little bit out of reach of the third baseman there.
As Cronier wants a new baseball. He will get one that appears to glow yellow. Yeah. That was an interesting throw out there. As I almost thought it was a softball there for a moment. As coming up, Denny, 1 for 3, 2 strikeouts, a base on balls.
That smoke kind of lingering out in center field.
It certainly is.
A little eerie. The ghost of historic Dunfield past visiting.
As there's a ball outside, 1-0. Cronier can't get frustrated here. He has to find a way to put these batters down, and this is the heart of the order now. Cronier asking for another sign, doesn't like what he's got. He steps off, not in agreement with his catcher at the moment. Cronier, really the first time we saw pitchers shaking off their catcher, and is also when we started to see a lot of trouble for the Pioneers. The windup delivery. Ball two. 2 balls, no strikes.
A big leg kick there from Cronier and kind of falls off towards that first base side. Not too big of a fall off like we saw earlier, but one of the bigger leg kicks you'll see here.
As with Denny up, he would be the tying run. As Cronier comes set, working out the stretch, he winds and delivers. That one's in there for a strike. 2 balls, 1 strike.
It smells like a campfire now.
It does smell like a
campfire out on the lake or one of those houses over beyond the wall.
Beyond the wall, the Game of Thrones reference coming up here to the booth. As once again, Cronier delivers. Fouled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cronier trying to punch out a batter here. Had great success back in the 8th. 3 up, 3 down. Now a couple of singles here in the top half of the 9th has led to some trouble once again for the Pioneers. Cronier looks at the sign. He gets it. He sets. He delivers. In there for a swinging strike 3 as Cronier gets another batter to swing and miss. 1 for 4 goes Denny on the night. 3 strikeouts as that'll bring up Stir, the designated hitter. 1 for 3, a strikeout and a base on balls on the evening, George.
Yep, came around to score in the 5th. And a bad strikeout in the 1st. So, end the game the way you started, hopefully, if you're the Pios, with a strikeout on him. And that bug has disappeared from where it was.
It's up near the ceiling.
I see that. Getting further away from me, which I enjoy, although I don't like not knowing where it is and not being able to see it.
5-2 the score here. 1 out. Cronier delivers. In there for a strike. That's exactly what you want to see.
Yeah, come right back and continue to pound the strike zone.
Cronier not letting himself get frustrated, giving up 2 singles.
You're working quickly there, already set. But the batter has to readjust the gloves. With that wide open stance.
As Cronier waits. He checks the runner at second, winds, delivers, and ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. It's a Tioga Down showdown, George.
Yeah, it is. You can be an all-star. Go see Smash Mouth. Go see some chariot racing or something like that.
And a beautiful brand new hotel down there at Tioga Downs as well. Haven't brought that up this evening. I hate the chariot racing for reference, as that's somewhat gladiator-like, as that one's in for strike 2.
That's what it sounds. I have not seen it, but it sounds like a gladiator race, horse-drawn carriage or something like that.
Yeah, you got to see it for yourself. Head on down to Tioga Downs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Cronier trying to find his way through the 9th inning. He sets, delivers, and fouled back. Once again, make the right decision.
Insist on Gerber collision.
And auto glass. Yes. As Cronier has 1 ball, 2 strikes, 1 out. And the Pioneers now 2 outs away. As the tying run is at the plate. In their number 4 batter, Stir, the designated hitter. Wind-up delivery. Hit out towards center. Buffington gets a read on it. Can of corn. Buffington gets it. The tag and fake advance. But a great play there by the leadoff hitter as Nathan Berg cuts off the play, and that will bring us to 2 outs. Final batter, hopefully, of the night. Dupelshane comes up. You look at what he's done tonight. 1 for 3, base on balls. He's got a double. He's got a strikeout, and it would not be a terrible time for another one.
No. He also flew out into a double play, which sounds weird if you did not join us earlier, but that's what happened.
It does. He flew out to Teshko, and the throw came all the way into home and got out the man on second. As your buddy's rejoining you back down a little bit lower on the wall there, George.
I don't like that.
As we're down 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. See what Severino can do. He shakes off the catcher yet again. The pitch over for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 out.
Did you get him?
I did.
Thank you.
He's down there.
Where'd he go? By my feet where I can't
No,
see
right
him really?
there.
Oh, by my...
Once again,
Oh, there he
one
is.
ball, one strike, 2 outs, and a dead bug as we are watching the runner dance around on second. In there for ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Pioneers 1 out away as they want to get out of this inning.
You got the tying run at the plate here, John.
We do. For the 3rd straight batter. This one grounded towards second base, picked up, thrown to first, and in time, the Pioneers do it, get the victory, and they celebrate breaking a 5-game losing streak.
Well, again, a much-needed win with that long road trip coming up, so the Pioneers get a chance to celebrate. Again, excellent pitching all the way around. You got some offense in the middle of the game with 2 runs in the 4th and the 6th. So, again, the Pioneers coming up big tonight.
George, the Pioneers have not had a great run of success here in this 3-game homestand, but tonight they do claim victory, a 5-2 decisive victory against Newark, who actually started the losing streak. So a little bit of poetic justice there as the Pioneers head back on the road tomorrow. You won't want to miss a minute of it. Catch us here on youtube.com or mixler.com. I'll be by my lonesome as George has to do his thing back at WETM Studios. We want to thank you, George, for hanging with us in this homestand. We hope to see you back on Thursday night as the Pioneers come home against the Geneva Red Wings. I'm John Clement.
I'm George Stockberger.
Good night, Elmira.